Here we go, here we go. Another rock and roll overtime. Every time we're gonna put the backpack, and we're already at the mountain. And anybody want to finance? I go up and down these stairs. Without stairs, with a lot of rock and roll. Up and down we go, and we're gonna go up. Now we already made it to the mountain. Let's see how much time it took yours truly to come and arrive here. And anybody wants to finance that I go up and down these stairs with some of that rock and some of that roll. Always gotta begin, commence. It is Monday. Monday, gonna begin with gratitude, grateful, thankful that my rent's paid, electricity bill's paid. Got food and coffee, got food and coffee, got food and coffee. And it is 5:28. And already marched 1 hour and 28 minutes and 55 seconds, 1 hour and 28 minutes. And 55 seconds, 1 hour, 28 minutes, and 55 seconds. 1 hour, 28 minutes, and 55 seconds. And right here on the mountain, Mount Royal Metropolis, Montreal. We're going to switch to that French because we love the province. About 11 kilometers, maybe 13.3, 13.4, because I took a little bit of a detour around the longer route. Here you can already start working out, but watch it for the flora on the fauna. Again, if you come here, this is my second home. Please, please, please do not pollute. Pick up after yourselves the garbage. And we're going to let our main out and auction everything that I'm wearing, including my San Francisco 49ers hat. Because I'm a Niner for a long time. Please give to charity, increase the pay for those cheerleaders. Women's sports leagues donate to food security. Food security starts with our farmers. LOV. To our farmers, firefighters, butchers, bakers, nurses, doctors, grocery store clerks. Support this. Financially stressed, financially struggling. I'm financially struggling at the moment, but paid my rent for the month of July. It is July 8th. Paid my rent. Paid my electricity bill. Got food and coffee. Paid my rent. Paid my electricity bill. Got food and coffee, and I love coming here, my second home, doing this vlog with a laptop. Always encouraging all to work out, train, exercise, and working out, training, exercising has been, is, and shall continue to be my medicine and therapy of choice since I've lost a few pounds. Always grateful when I come here, always joyous. Gotta give me some of that LOV. Somebody gotta get a little bit of a matchmaking, love to matchmake, so you get a little bit of poem there. If you check this out, we got poetry. Gotta learn a little bit of that French, you know. Gotta learn a little bit of that French. But there we got poems. Gonna get it on the X, on the Y, and the Z. See, those are poems, which we gotta get into it. Get into it. And we gotta get it on the XYZ. Yeah. For the lovers. Saw somebody holding hands today. Give me hope when you hug. Hold hands. NATO summit beginning, and you know I'm an independent geopolitical analyst and theorist who's gonna go right through here, because this is a trail, a path, and we're gonna put this away so it doesn't, I don't lose it here, so that a rabbit, a squirrel, or groundhog or hawk or any other flora, fauna causes damage to either flora or fauna, that is. And gotta put it in and do a little bit of stretching with it. Gonna put it here, auctioning this for $1 million. Gonna give that 50% half to the greatest person I know, who consider family and friend anonymous. Gonna propose again for an open BDSM switch, non-sectarian Thelemite, that 93 marriage engagement, but you know, XYZ. Saluting the firefighters, butchers, bakers, nurses, doctors, and those grocery store clerks, all involved in the production and the distribution of that OOD. Food security starts with the farmers. With the farmers and the truckers, LOV to the truckers, to the bakers. Grateful, thankful. My rent's paid, electricity bill's paid, got food and coffee, and got my fridge full. I gotta say my fridge is full so I can work, because this is my work right here with the laptop, doing these long vlogs. You know, I've been doing for years an independent We got that Asperger, so I repeat things twice, 3 times. I repeat things twice, 3 times. I do repeat things twice, 3 times. And Asperger's and retrograde amnesia. Survived COVID in February, March, and been depressed and suicidal. Celebrating 7 years in August, September, when I got out of depression and being suicidal when I crossed Canada coast to coast. In August and September, in August and September, in August and September, I crossed Canada coast to coast with my anonymous friend, and that event made me come out of depression and being suicidal. And ever since then, I got out of depressed and being suicidal. I got out of depression and being suicidal. And I live carpe diem it every day. I carpe diem it every day. I carpe diem it every day. With hope for tomorrow. And I just do as an independent. We got Asperger's, so artist, athlete, philosopher, geopolitical analyst, and theorist. And my main obsession in my kingdom is geopolitics 24/7 for many, many, many years. To study the analysis of geopolitics and, of course, geopolitical analysis and geopolitics 24/7 rock and roll. And got artistly and artist and rock and roll always for the butchers and for the farmers, and gotta get somebody make some of the LOV and gotta watch the corners when I cross the street here, because I'm gonna go straight to that hydration, cause I'm on that thirsty, but I just want to see and show a little bit of something here, where there's a majestic tree here. See this one here, the only one that has a Latin inscription. So this tree here says Épinette de Norvège, Norway spruce, and it has the Latin name here. So this is among the rare one where you can see here what type of tree it is. So it's called, in Latin it's Picea abies, Picea abies. Picea abies, in French it is Épinette de Norvège, Épinette de Norvège, Épinette de Norvège. And in English is Norway spruce, Norway spruce. So Norway spruce. So that's always interesting, and not a lot of them have, but that one does. And of course, here we are on the mountain, and encourage you all to work out, train, exercise, and gotta stay on the right side just like driving. Gotta stay on the right side just like driving. Gotta stay on the right side just like driving. And see, people are doing their business, and this is my second home, so only thing I ask is please do not pollute. Pick up that to yourself, put it in the garbage, put it in recycling. If you come here, big metropolis island, we got 2.5 million people. It was the most populated city in a long time in North America, and in Canada was first until 2007, and of course now we got, of course, the second most populated, and it's the 8th most populated, and of course in North America, and we got XYZ, and that's all we gotta do, XYZ. So somebody wearing that good red, and got a LOV, and got a better to love, so always excited when I see lovers and hugging and kissing and holding hands. It gives me hope. What are we fighting to save for if somebody not doing that now? Black, white, and rainbow, black, white, and rainbow, black, white, and rainbow, so with Asperger's, I'm a weird, I lost a lot of friends I made over the past 7 years, but in the past like 3.5 years I accepted, I got Asperger's, so with Asperger's I got my obsessions, and I'm different, and my obsessive interests are geopolitics. 24/7 I wake up, I do my sun salutation and start analyzing geopolitical events of the day, of yesterday, of the week, and today we still getting the analysis from the elections, the results from last night, and those results kick it in, and of course what's going to be the meeting there, and they're going to have a good meeting with NATO. I wanted to be there, because I am the geopolitical analyst and theorist, independent geopolitical analyst and theorist, but geopolitics is my kingdom, and that's my realm. I'm an independent geopolitical analyst and theorist, and I gotta say that I predicted the geopolitical analysis of back in 2019. I actually predicted in a general manner, not an overall detailed manner, but in a general manner, I predicted what's happening now in international conflagration, and international conflagration, what's happening now, international conflagration, and what's happening now, of course, it is what it is, so that's what it is now, so we got to get it on the X, on the Y, on the Z, on the LOV, you know, so that's what it is for the XYZ, you know, so we gotta get on the drills, you know, so we gotta get it on the go, so we gotta get it on the XYZ, and that's what we gotta be doing, you know, we gotta be doing on the XYZ, and that's what we gotta keep on doing, you know, we gotta be mindful that sometimes it just takes doing it, and XYZ, you know, so we gotta meditate on what's happening in the world, you know, so that's my life as an Aspie artist, athlete, philosopher, geopolitical analyst and theorist, geopolitical analyst and theorist, so that's what we gotta get doing to do. And for the lovers, for the doers, for the thinkers, for the firefighters, LOV, you know, for the lovers and the butchers and all those, of course, involved in the production and the distribution of food, you know, we gotta get it on the XYZ, and we gotta be mindful, live it today, you know, get a little bit of sun. Sun always get that HELP, you know, get that help from the Pope, my King the Sun. That's my King the Sun, the Pope, and gotta put a little bit of cream, which I did, so that's about the requirement. And then we go into the woods, into the forest right here, but gotta salute, because I'm always thinking, always meditating when I'm here on this mountain, the forest on the mountain, Mount Royal, of what's happening now across North American collective civilizational complex, aka basically across North America, or what I call as a philosopher, the North American civilizational complex, because my philosophies and theories and propositions, of course, state to make a statement, of course, that the North American collective civilizational complex, the complex of North American collective, of course, they constitute, of course, a collective civilizational complex. They constitute a collective civilizational complex of which we are part of course, and that's what we are part of today, and we do it for tomorrow, and it's just to get a little bit of sun. Always good to get that sun, you know. Oh yeah. And some water, gotta be mindful, and of course thank of course those, of course, who are of course involved in the production, distribution of food security. Starts with the farmers, or those, of course, who build, underneath the water, the cables, and aqueducts, who build it, for us to have, enable us to have water, clean water, of course, right here, to have clean water, right here, to have clean water, on this mountain. That's what it is, that's what it is. You know, we gotta get it on the go, so we gotta get that clean, and we gotta be mindful of the workers of the 20th century, who of course did it in the past, and who built all the underground. So there's tons and tons of layers of underground, of miles and miles in the 20th century, just for us to have potable water here. So it's always to do a meditation about that. It's always to do a meditation about all the privilege of civilization, the privilege of civilizational complex, and that civilization is a privilege, you know. So that's how we gotta get to hydrate. And thanks to those workers of the 20th century, we gotta get on the hydration, man. And the sun salutations with it, and bury me with Papa Crowley up in New Jersey. Bury me with Papa Crowley up in New Jersey. Bury me with Papa Crowley up in New Jersey. Hydrate. Well, that was a good hydration, so now we can keep on working out, training, and exercising. So again the geopolitical events of today because I'm an independent geopolitical analyst and theorist, and that's my main obsession, parallel with sports and fitness, and dancing is my favorite sport. Dancing is my favorite sport, and we're gonna do that dance for NATO this week because our Prime Minister gonna offer a priestess of the goddess, H priestess, Hana the goddess, and you're truly dragon. I say you're gonna be able to massage Biden, my brother Scorpio Biden. He needs a massage, and gotta send some LOV, to our NATO troops. We gotta send that LOV. This is not about love, if it's not about love, gotta get it on the LOV, who's we fighting for. You gotta say that LOV to our NATO troops. And Jen Stoltenberg with it, we gotta program a little bit of LOV, a little bit of massages, for the troops. If you come here, visitors, of course, from whatever states it is, please do not pollute, put it in the garbage, 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 That's what it is, so gotta put it in the trash, and don't leave trash. Please don't leave trash. Because since we got, of course, we got flora, fauna, and we got a lot of that flora and that fauna, so that's what we got, and that's what we do, we got flora, fauna, which we preserve. We try to preserve. We try to preserve on the mountain here the rabbits, the groundhogs, the beavers, the chipmunks and squirrels, and you gotta not pollute, so just please be mindful of that. So put it in the trash if it goes in the trash, and you got toilets here, you got where if you find lost and found, there's 1, 2, and 3 lost and founds right there in the middle and the top of the Belvedere where we're probably gonna go. We go, because this is my second home, so I always come here on this for years and years and years, and it doesn't pass a few days. After a few days, I start missing the mountain here and the squirrels and the flora, rabbits, and we're gonna switch into French a bit because I'm a Quebecer Canadian, and I gotta put it for my French language and brothers and sisters, cousins here, family, nephews, and big family of Quebecer Canadian North Americans United is the call, and I want to hear at least tomorrow one time. Just want to say LOV to our NATO troops. Because I ain't fighting for nobody who's not going to say LOV. If I'm getting that Dragon Zero rainbow, little dick clit rainbow dragon, I'm going to get you drills because I created, of course, General Integrated All Body Training System. And I'm Dragon Zero calling for the public-private partnership initiative across NORAD, NATO. Who's going to be that 33rd? Who's going to be that 33rd? Blah, 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 blah. Who's going to be that 33rd? 33rd nation to join the NATO alliance is going to be Mexico, and I'm advocating for Mexico, Dragon Army Initiative, Mexico. I speak some Spanish because I learned Spanish, and I'm a mystic. I believe in reincarnations, and I was born right here on this island 3 times between 1635 and 1904, and I was also born in the USA post 1776, twice as a man, once as a woman, and served twice in the United States Army. I get flashes of reincarnations over the past 7 years when I come up in the mountain here, and I come up in the mountain, and there's lots of mountains here, there's lots of mountains, and lots of forest, and we got a little bit of drills right here, so it's always super important to be mindful and hydrate, and be mindful, of course, when you work out, try and exercise. And like I said, I get flashes sometimes. I get the flashes when I come here. It's like when I served in Vietnam War, I served in 2 United States wars post 1776, and that served both twice. Because I was born 3 times, when once was born as a woman, so sometimes was born a priestess today. 8th of July, my rent's paid, electricity bills paid, got food and coffee, and you get that 50-50, androgynous, and you get that 50-50, but I'm a great geopolitical analyst and theorist, philosopher, artist with retrograde amnesia, so just have blackouts. I mostly remember the past years, and that's an important thing, and we got a lot of bit of loving here, and I always get that LOV, so that 42 code 93/, and you gotta get that LOV for the lovers, and that's worth fighting for. So tomorrow It's Tuesday, the summit, calling for the NORAD, NATO, Dragon Zero, Dragon Pub, Dragon Army. Nobody's born a dragon, not even myself. And I love to come here, smell a little of that fresh, and we're gonna do some drills right here. We're gonna work out with some sun right here, and just love the smell here. But like I said, nobody's born a dragon, and not even myself. Nobody's born a dragon, not even myself. So stretch and gotta salute the firefighters, butchers, bakers, nurses, doctors, and I'm hoping during this summit this week, celebrating the 75th anniversary of NATO Alliance, who's gonna be that 33rd Dragon Army, Dragon Zero, yours truly, Rainbow Dragon, who plays it for the black and the white and the rainbow, for the firefighters, LOV, for the butchers, LOV, for the nurses, the doctors, those on those fields. Now, XYZ, to get that LOV. Start making some love, black and white and rainbow, but if not, come to me, I matchmake, and I can, from a goddess, I learned the art of love, because the art of LOVs, that's worth fighting for. Somebody holding hands now, kissing. It ain't all about the money, it ain't all about Wall Street. Money is to buy, sell. My DRT, debt refusion theory via the public-private partnership is the only solution. Of course, the only solution is the DRT, which I'm going to discuss in a bit. But anyways, I am hoping that, of course, there will be mention of love. LOV for our NATO troops. Let's getting on the look. Let's do a little bit of squats, squats a little bit. Super good to do some squats, always getting in motion and exercising, It's one of my obsessive interests, and fitness, sports. Dancing is my favorite sport. Dancing is my favorite sport, and geopolitics, and I'm a philosopher and encouraging all to work out, train, exercise, and gotta get a meditation. And of course, I gotta say, because as a geopolitical analyst and theorist, independent ask me, that's my kingdom, my domain, geopolitics. Back in October 2019, I have predicted what's unfolding now geopolitically in the worldwide situation, global situation, back in 2019 in October. So back since then, of course, I've been in a kind of World War III mode, and of course, since then, I've been in kind of a World War III mode. So being in a little bit of World War III mode, I of course created a workout training program system which is effective, simple, and efficient, and which I'm calling for the mass mass financing across the collective North American civilizational complex, across NATO member countries, via public-private partnership, and the creation of the Universal Exchange Unit, the UE, the Universal Exchange Unit, Mexico become that 33rd, gonna be joyous, happy, and maybe extended to 44, maybe extended to 44, NATO, NORAD, so we got that CIT, citizen integration theory. We got to integrate across all levels, from all levels of civilizational complex, because of course it is a possibility of a nuclear conflagration, of a third more nuclear war. It's possible, for more than 44 years, about 44 years and 9 months, the duration of the Cold War was. And they were building of the ICBM, standing for intercontinental ballistic missiles, of which by the dozens can be nuclearly armed. And we built a lot of weapons during those close to 5 decades, 44 years and 9 months, officially the Cold War. So the duration of the Cold War since the Truman Doctrine in March 1947, March 1947, till about 26th of December 1991, with the official dissolution of the Soviet Union taking precedence after, of course, that date, 25th of December. So we got to be mindful of the events, but nonetheless, I got to say that I predicted the geopolitical situation in a general manner, not in an overall manner, but in a general manner. I predicted an international conflagration, and since then, of course, I've been in a kind of World War III mode, and of course, since then, I've been myself in a kind of a World War III mode, of course, and I predicted generally. So I got those theories which I need to be implemented, calling all to support, because fundamentally my call for the dancing goddess in the Dragon Kingdom is fundamentally a call for a public-private partnership. My initiatives and my trinity of philosophies and theories, I call for their implementation by the fourth dimension, love. So better watch, and gonna get some mention of NATO Alliance, of course, being LOV. I want to hear some love our troops, because I ain't fighting for nobody. Generals, you get degraded to mere citizens with 4 stars, 5 stars, 3 stars. was born, fought many wars across many countries and empires, from ancient Egypt, ancient Rome, ancient Babylon, till the United States fought 2 wars for the U.S. Army post 1776, British Empire, and across the world. And sometimes I was a mere soldier, sometimes I got a little bit of rank, but hey, anyway, so I gotta say you get a little bit of downgraded, you know, because you never say love. I wanted to hear LOV at least. You gotta speak 7 minutes, you gotta say love at least once. 7 minutes, you gotta speak at least once, say something about love in those 7 minutes. Number after 6, before 8 is 7, and of course you gotta say something about LOV. You know, I ain't fighting for nobody when nobody doesn't say LOV on the same day. Make love tonight or tomorrow morning, or whatever the case may be, to my troops, you know. If so can be, of course, whatever the case may be, in the different circumstances and situation. I'm calling, of course, for the septennium, as I stand here doing a little bit of workout with this. And let's take it a little bit. This is not too heavy, but we can squash it in like this, and we can put on some of those biceps. This is about maximum 44 pounds, between 22 pounds and 44 max. 45 max, maybe pounds, not kilos. I would say it's like a sack. Man, I'm not sure. Maybe maximum 45, and between somewhere between there. So could you just do a little bit with it like this, you know. So it's always good to exercise a bit, you know. This has been here, and so I'm not damaging anything. So I'm always careful not to step on flowers or anything that I can step on. Here the ground is clear, so because here it's been cut, and you know, it's been cut, and its wood has been chopped, and that's good. I saw something good, but throw that in the garbage. I saw something good, but throw that in the garbage, please. I saw something good, but throw something in the garbage. I saw a condom. But be careful, I guess, if you do it in the night here. It's not really legal, but you know, you gotta watch it. Don't do like sexually indecent acts, because when there's children, or you know, you gotta be sensitive about those issues in the public. You can kiss, you can hug, you can tickle, hug, kiss, massage, stuff like that, of course. But you know, just saw a condom there, so somebody had made. Wasn't me. You know, see, I just saw. So you gotta. That one I have to, if I would have something to pick it up because of sanitation and of course hygiene with my hands, although I can clean my hands, but because I kind of do want to pick it up, but I don't have gloves. Unless I have gloves, maybe I come with something with a stick and put it in the garbage, you know. So because maybe somebody like with a, maybe if I take a stick and go to the garbage and put it in the closest garbage, see, because I'm afraid that here the flora fauna, some people might, of course, if I take it with this stick, so again, be careful. So it's good that you made love. This is good, you know, in sexual health. So as an advocate, you know, as I'm part of the LGBTQ community, it's good, but you gotta be careful, you know. If I would be, of course, the police, I would warn. If I would catch you in the act, I would give you a warning. I said, gotta be careful, guys. Get a room, because there's children, and there's children, so you gotta be careful not to do, but nonetheless a condom. And this, because the flora can be ingested, so don't leave it here, you know, don't leave it like that. Just dispose of it properly so it can be ingested by a rabbit. We got rabbits there. I saw rabbits there, groundhogs or other creatures which can actually ingest the material. I see a lot of them passing there, so I'm just gonna dispose of it with the thing here, so just for sanitation reasons. And it's good, you know, so sexual health, and you know, I'm rainbow, gay, androgynous, pansexual, got a tiny little androgynous, clit, dig, tiny. Sometimes it goes bigger. Rocket, goddess, GODDSS is giving me something. If I can bring pleasure to somebody, you know, whatever the case may be. But nonetheless, it is important. It is important, of course, to dispose of it properly, you know, dispose of it properly, and get it on the XYZ, you know. So that's it, XYZ, you know. So gotta get it on the XYZ, you know. So just gonna dispose of it properly and get it for the LOV, man. You know, so you gotta go here, you know. You gotta go in the garbage, and we're gonna close the garbage, and You know, that's it. We're gonna throw, of course, that and dispose of it here in the garbage, close it, and now I'm just gonna disinfect my hands also, because of course gotta disinfect my hands also, and gotta get it for the disinfection, and gotta get it for the XYZ, and gotta get it for that LOV, you know. So that's what we're gonna do for disinfection, and we gotta work it on the XYZ. So we gotta get it on the disinfect. 10 seconds, 9 seconds, 8 seconds, 7 seconds, 6 seconds, 5 seconds, 5 seconds, 6 seconds, 6 seconds, 5 seconds, 6, 4, 3, 2, 1, and gotta get it on the XYZ, you know. So that's what we're gonna do, you know. We're gonna do like XYZ, and gotta do it for the love, you know. So that's what I gotta do. So that's what I gotta do, you know. So that's what we gotta do for it, you know. So we gotta get it on the XYZ, you know. So we gotta do it for the lovers, and my hands are disinfected, and I can rock and roll now. Rock and roll now. Rock and roll now, you know. So it's always good, and gotta get it on the XYZ, you know. So that's what we gotta be doing, man. Gotta be mindful not to see again. These gotta be recycled, the bottles. See, I don't mind you drinking. You gotta stay hydrated, but please, for the rabbit's sake, for the flora's sake, for all the other creatures' sake, just these gotta be, and this also. See, I got 3 more, so all these, we gotta put them in that recycling. See, I pick up here because I know groundhogs come here, I see them often, and rabbits. So it takes the individual to do, and it takes us prudence and vigilance to do it, you know, because it takes the individual and the collective. So these items got to be recycling. So I always do my part. It's been years and years I've been coming here, and you know, I've been coming for that XYZ, and gotta get it on the XYZ, and XYZ, you know. So gotta do. Sometimes you just gotta be, but sometimes you just gotta do. You know, for the doers, the thinkers, the lovers, gotta get a little bit of LOV, you know. So it's always important to get it on the drills and get it on those exercises, and I'm just gonna put them away, and we're gonna stay a bit more here, do some more exercises. As you know, I come often here because I love the smell. I love the smell of this cut wood, you know. So it's always the smells that, you know, I get attracted, and these I'm gonna recycle, and after I do, I have to disinfect my hand again. One of my obsessions, parallel to geopolitics and fitness and sports. Well, fitness and sports go together, right? And geopolitics, that's my kingdom, my realm, is germs and microbes. I'm a bit obsessed about germs and microbes, a bit bacteria. I don't know if I was, because with COVID in 4 years already went since I had it, and for me it was like death, pestilence, and disease. For me, death, pestilence, and disease was COVID. COVID was like death, pestilence, and disease. You know, so ever since I had COVID, you know, I live every day carpe diem, and that's what it is for the show. That's what it is for the do. So anyway, since then I live carpe diem it every day, you know. So it's always got something on my hand. That's a piece of was it a piece from some kind of dirt, so from the nails. Anyways, so back to what I was saying, of course, is that it's I love coming here with the smell of the wood, and I think that was cracked due to a storm, and then they chopped it into 1, 2, 3, and like kind of 3 more, 4 pieces, kind of, and it got chopped here, you know. So I always like to come here because I like the smell. So I like the smell. I like to come do some hawks here, and always get to do some of those hawks, you know. And let's do some. You gotta go on those toes and propel. Let's do some HAWK. Always saluting the farmers. LOV to the firefighters. LOV to the truckers now on the road delivering grocery store clerks. Those unloading, loading trucks. Those making a pizza sandwiches. Those on the deliveries. Delivering. You know, do those deliveries, and you know, that's what we gotta do. And you know, I'm joyous. You know, grateful. Gratitude is great for mental health. Gratitude is great for mental health. Gratitude is great for mental health. Gratitude is great for mental health, you know. And I've suffered, struggled, been depressed, been suicidal, you know. So I always gotta be, you know, when I was depressed and suicidal, you know. And with Asperger's, it has been difficult to maintain long-term employment, but now I understand it in the past years that I'm different, I'm neurodivergent, and again, Asperger's is not a mental illness. It is a neurological divergent mental psychic condition. Asperger's is not a it's not a mental illness. It is a neurological psychic mental divergent condition. Asperger's is not a mental illness. It is a neurological mental psychic divergent condition. It just makes me predisposed to obsessive interest, repetitive body movements, clumsiness, approaching people too close for comfort in conversation, you know, stuff like that. And people with Asperger's suffer a bit, you know, a lot, some of us a lot. But once you learn to manage the symptoms, because there's no medication for my neurological divergent mental psychic condition, it's always working on the symptoms. Not to approach citizens too closely in conversation, not to, of course, be overly verbose, too much sophisticated, intellectual, cosmopolitan, academic terms to be used when, of course, the things can be, of course, just, of course, not too, they can be, of course, simplified. The things can be simplified. Simplification sometimes is purification, you know. So doing those things, that is those symptoms, and I got to work on it. And I got my strengths, you know, to the fact that geopolitics, I'm a master of geopolitics, 20th, 21st century, to the point that I predicted what's happening now, again, as in a general manner. You know, in a general manner. And I think I have some solutions, the trinity of theories, the CIT citizen integration theory, the DRT depth of fusion theory, and the democratic fusion theory. That trinity of theories to be integrated via the fourth dimension, you know, and that fourth dimension is LOV. LOV, because that's what's money. If I make money, gonna give half of every million, a billion, a trillion to my anonymous friend, because she was my friend, not because of the money, because I never really had any. Cause I never really had any. Not because of the money, cause I never really had any. Not because of the money, cause I never really had any, you know. I'm rich, wealthy, affluent, prosperous in geopolitics, in fitness, in rock and roll. Rock and roll! For the firefighters on the road, for the butchers, for the nurses, for those daycare changing diapers. Somebody gotta love them with a little bit of loving for the sunlight and the satellites. Gotta settle up with the horses, that's a sight. Gotta rock and roll 24/7 geopolitics, 24/7 sports and fitness geopolitics, 24/7 rock and roll style and fitness. That's all that's happening with me. Geopolitics, fitness, sports, dancing is my favorite sport, rock and roll. And my spirituality, non-sectarian Thelemite. I believe in reincarnation, stuff like that. And before we head out from here, we're gonna do some push-ups and stretch, and always gotta do some of those push-ups, you know. Something like this, so I'm gonna do some push-ups. Yeah, man, so that's what we gotta get doing for that, you know. LOV in action, got trillions of kisses. Trillions of kisses, trillions of kisses, trillions. Trillion, a trillion has 12 zeros, so God! Trillions of kisses credited from the goddess. And I'm laying the foundations for the first kingdom empire. To be founded with and by via KISSES, by kisses. First and foremost by kisses friendly, you know. So those kisses I got, kisses I got. Those kisses by the trillions, I got trillions of those kisses. For the bakers, for the butchers, for those NATO that salute. For the NATOs that we shook. For the NATOs that we look. For the NATOs that we cook. For the NATOs up in Duck. For the NATOs up in Shook. For the NATOs up in Looks. For the NATOs up in Gook. For the cook up in the look. For the food up in the Sioux. For the love up in the do. For the butchers and the bakers, gotta give them some of that good loving, and you know we gotta feel it. Now we're gonna French and kiss it, French and squeeze it. To the rock and roll we live it, to the rock and roll we trill it, to the rock and roll we squeeze it. Oh, we gotta give it. Oh, we gotta spit it. For the nurse up in the living. For the nurse up in the living. Oh, we gotta do it for the lovers. For the butchers. For the nurses. For the doctors. For the daycare workers. We gotta live it for you live it. We gotta squeeze it for you blow it. For you kiss it up in the rainbow lick it. Kisses for the goddess from the goddess. Up in heal it. Heal it. Heliums. Gotta get those kisses by the trillions. LOV. To our firefighters. LOV to the butchers, on the truckers on the road. Nurses, daycare changing diapers. LOV. And I love coming here, my second home, and grateful, thankful, electricity bills paid, got food and coffee, and gotta get for that LOV, you know. So always mindful, of course, of what's happening, you know. And, across the North American civilizational complex. If I make $1 million, $1 billion, $1 trillion, gonna give half 50% the greatest person I know, who deserves to be 7 times the number after 8, before 8, after 8, after 6, after 6, before 8, before 8, after 6 is that 777. To my anonymous friend who deserves to be that rich, or 7 times as Oprah, Beyonce love here, and I'm a Swiftie. 7 times richer than Taylor Swift, Beyonce, and Oprah, you know. That's what it is, and I'm rich, wealthy. It's just that I'm financially stressed. Got $10,500 in debt, but I'm open for business. I've been for years, you know. Suffer a struggle with Asperger's, and, you know, we got to get it on that drill, you know. So we got to get it on that DIT, and we got to get it on that CIT, you know. So it's always something which we got to be mindful of, and we got to be doing on the LOV, somebody making that good loving, man. You know, somebody making that good love today, that's worth fighting for. The children, and one of my protocols, of course, for military matters, NORAD, NATO, Dragon Army, Public-Private Initiative, and for the Canadian Armed Forces, CAF. Gotta put a protocol to go change some diapers, you know. While we're fighting coast to coast, ocean to ocean, admire Musk, admire, blah, blah, blah. Change some diapers in the daycares, man. That smelly protocol if you were to put a uniform, you know. To put a uniform on is first and foremost for the children, you know, coast to coast, and help yours truly publish some books. Children's books are simple, usually resolve. My children's books usually revolve around civilization and matters of firefighting matters, and matters, of course, of transportation, matters of farming, food production, hygiene, and regular physical fitness, and aqueducts, and things of that nature. That's what they revolve in, you know. That's what they revolve in, and that's all we gotta get to do the drill, you know. So let's go, my brother Citizen Bill Blair, brother Citizen Bill Blair. Support the Dragon Army who can get to that 2%, and you know what's the rest? Coast to coast, ocean to ocean, calling for the establishment of the North American Citizen Integrated Security Service and Defense Force, North American Security Service and Defense Force, North American Social Security Service and Defense Force, North American Social Security and Defense Force, the North American Citizen Integrated Social Security Defense, and we're gonna play that defense just like defend North America, like I'm defending that. Purdy. P-U-R-D-Y. Mr. Irrelevant made it to the Super Bowl, and Brady was too old when he was 37, and more than 7 years later when he was 45, he won his last Super Bowl. Brady won his last Super Bowl, he was like 45. You know, so we gotta get it on the drill, gotta drill. So, gotta get it on the XYZ. You know, that's what we gotta do for that drill, you know, so we gotta get it for the love, man. The lovers, man. Gotta get it for those beautiful flowers, you know. We gotta get it for the drill. And we gotta get it for the XYZ. We gotta stay hydrated. A little bit of hydration is super important to get a little bit of that HYDRATE. Super important to get hydration. We gotta get it on that HYDRATE, man, you know. Gotta get that LOV, you know, so super important. Hydrate, stay hydrated, and get a little bit of that XYZ, XYZ, XYZ. So we gotta get it on the XYZ, you know. With that LOV, let's go. Hydrate! Gotta get it for that hydration, rock and roll 24/7 for the butchers, bakers, nurses, doctors, grocery store clerks, hydrate. We gotta get for that love, man, you know, for the lovers on the butchers, man. That hydration. Look at the hydration. HYDRAD! For the public workers, changing up those aqueducts, you know that we quack, quack, quack. Changing up those aqueducts, you know that we quack, quack, quack. Hey, for the nurses and the daycares changing diapers, for those milk-producing milk truckers and those skyscrapers, building the construction workers. We gotta get it on the love, man. LOV, you know. Make some of that good love, you know. I gotta make some of that good loving, man. We gotta get it some of that good love, you know. So gotta hydrate some more and give it on the love and LOV, you know. It's a good LOV, man. Somebody hugging, kissing, and exercising, sports, getting some sunlight. It's always good to get a little bit of that sun. Somebody getting to want to come love, workout, train, exercise, fitness, defense, coast to coast. We gotta get that defense coast to coast, you know. So it's a different time of LOV, super important. Love is also action, you know. But just blah, 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 you know. That's you want to love, we come love good. Love rainbow, black and white, and good dragon rainbow loving, man. You get that. Want some good loving, come to me. Want some good rock and roll, come to me. We're gonna work out, train, exercise, dance. Come to the dancing goddess and the dragon kingdom. Support the kingdom. Support the kingdom, man, you know. Support the dream. The dancing goddess and the dragon kingdom. That's the dream, baby. That's the dream, you know. So we gotta go for that, you know. So we gotta go to get that hydration there, you know. So gonna go for that HYDRAT and gonna be a little bit of mindfulness, man. A little bit of goddess, you know. GODDSS with it, you know. It's super important, you know. Recognize the goddess, you know. GODDSS, you know. So gotta get it for the GODDSS. Gotta get it for the goddess, you know. I gotta get it for the I give permission to citizens to laugh at me, you know, because I'm an Asperger's and I'm a mystic and I do sun salutations, but I understand that sometimes the way I do it might seem clumsy and kind of comical, so that's not a problem. I give permission to laugh at me, you know. I give that permission if I can bring laughter to people, you know. Gotta get around that laughter, so it's always with some LOV and understanding, but nonetheless now I gotta put that hydration. I gotta get on the XYZ, you know. So that's all I gotta be on that love, you know. I gotta put it here and I'm gonna put it to some good use, you know. Make some of that see, this is where I gotta put it, man. I gotta put it here, see? Pop like that, man. Gotta put it inside here. That's what. Oh, don't put food there. See? No, don't put. So don't put stuff that doesn't go there. There you gotta put recycling only. So we got work to do on it. Sometimes we gotta monitor here because some things don't go, and then it's counterproductive. So what is it? If we don't do it right, it takes the individual, you know, and the collective. So we gotta be mindful of that, because otherwise we don't do it right. So that's what it is. So now I gotta do my cleaning of the hands again. So I'm gonna take that disinfectant. I'm gonna go to the top straight. You know, that's what we do. We work out, train, exercise here. We meditate, always thinking about. This is Canadian made hand sanitizer, supposedly kills 99.9% of the germs. So I put a little bit too much. Give it 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 6, 6, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and down 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. We gotta get it for that clean, hand clean, and we gotta get it for that donation. We gotta get it for that XYZ, and we gotta get it for that LOV. Put the backpack back on, and we're gonna go round the back into the forest, man. It's always pleasure, but today is a bit late. We wanted to go to the top, but tomorrow we'll go dance. We're gonna do the video. We're gonna go do that dance at the top, you know. So today is the dancing is not today, but today we're gonna just do Monday beginning, and then launch the week, you know, fitness, geopolitics, 24/7, and that's all we gotta do about it. And now we're gonna go right inside, make sure that we cross the street with prudence, and we gotta find that a little bit of that text. And when I cross the street here, gotta be watching for the cars. Watch the cars. Yeah. Gotta do that XYZ, you know, so that's what we're gonna be doing, you know, so we gotta get on that sun and gonna discuss that DRT timer. To discuss the DRT, what is the DRT stands for debt refusion theory. It is my theory. And keep in mind that DRT. The debt refusion theory also includes monetary integration theory. Monetary integration theory is exactly what was done, of course, in the Soviet Union. In the Soviet Union. That is in the post-Soviet Union Europe, post-Soviet Union, correction. In the post-Soviet Union era of Europe, post-Soviet Europe, that what was done, you know, so that's what we're gonna do. And of course the DRT includes monetary integration theory, 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 monetary integration theory. So my DRT stands for D, debt refusion, R, refusion theory, and my theory includes monetary integration theory, monetary integration theory, you know. So monetary integration theory, gonna get it for that LOV, you know. So monetary integration theory is what they did in the European Union. So my theory, the DRT, debt refusion theory, D, debt, R, refusion, and T theory stands, of course, for debt refusion theory. Also includes monetary integration theory, monetary integration theory, and of course, he's gotta get it on the XYZ. And so monetary integration theory, of course, is what was done in the European Union, right? So now I'm going to show you why, of course, I say, of course, about the monetary integration theory and the DRT, the debt refusion theory. My fellow citizen doing some exercise. Good for you. We enter now in the shade a little bit. Takes a little bit of that forest, that civilization and nature. Takes a little bit of that civilization and nature. And I got to be prudent here because sometimes, very rarely, but sometimes, very rarely, but sometimes, not never, I did see somebody come on that bike path, and it's narrow, so it's also steep with rocks, so I gotta be mindful when I go, and how I go and how I drill it, so I always gotta be mindful on that X and on that Y and on the stepping. So here I come, you know, it's March, all the way to the top, and that's what we're gonna discuss. The DRT. Once again, my DRT, standing for D, death, R, refusion theory, T for theory, R for refusion, D for death. My DRT, my brothers and sisters, also includes monetary integration theory. What is monetary integration theory? Monetary integration theory is exactly what was done in the European Union. In the European Union, in the EU, post-Soviet Europe. So monetary integration theory is basically creating a common currencies. Several countries got together. They got rid of their old currencies. The Germans got rid of the Deutschmark. The Italians got rid of the lira. The French got rid of the franc, and so on and so forth. So they got rid of their currencies. And of course, my DRT, debt refusion theory, includes, in my theory, monetary integration theory, monetary integration theory, monetary integration theory, monetary integration theory. So my theory includes the theory which was done in the European Union, the theory which was done in the European Union. And of course the DRT, debt refusion theory, for the creation of the, what I call the UE. So I'm going to explain it. But before I do, again, keep in mind that my DRT theory, standing for D for debt, R refusion, T theory, and of course is to create a new currency called the UE. So my DRT theory also includes monetary integration theory, which is exactly what was done in the European Union when the Europeans created the ECB, the European Central Bank, the ECB, the European Central Bank, the ECB, the European Central Bank, and they issued the euro. Some have retained their old dual currency system. I don't know exactly which countries, but some, not all. The majority have not. Well, of course, Britain has the pound, they haven't adopted it. Other countries have retained their old currencies. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, a Scandinavian country, Hungary, no. I believe Bulgaria or Romania or Bulgaria. One of those. I got to double check. I'm going to check. I knew, but during COVID when I revised my theory. And of course, this theory comes from the curse of Asperger's. You know, I've been cursed with Asperger's, but there's certain blessings. Blessings for me, for you, for us, for me, for you, for us. For me, for you, for us, for me. For you, for us, for me. For you, for us, for me, for you, for us. The blessing is that I found the solution to the current financial most public crises. To a certain extent, the public 100%, but to a certain extent, the private as well. So my DRT theory, debt refusion theory, includes monetary integration theory, monetary integration theory. And so, of course, I'm going to show you the motive, the reason, how come I pronounce myself, that my brothers and sisters, my DRT theory, whether you're on the left, on the right, in the center, as I'm a pro-labor and love universal revolutionary centrist who comes here to the second house, going to turn my head left and right, going to turn my head left and right, My DRT theory, debt refusion theory, the DRT debt refusion theory is the only solution. I'm going to show you the motive and why, of course. Check this out. So back in 2020 was the COVID pandemic. And back last year I took more information, I revised my theory, and I took this picture. And this picture shows you how much we pay in debt servicing charges. In other words, debt servicing is a fancy term to say how much interest we're paying. The interest we're paying. Look at this. This is I took this picture 22nd of November 2023. These are the official numbers from the Bank of Canada by the CBC. Discuss the fall economic statement in Canada, how our economic statements are disclosed and revealed to the public. So this is public information. Look at that. In 2020 and 2021, we paid 20.3 billion. A billion is 1,000 million. That has 9 zeros. Not 6, 9. That's 20,000 million just in interest. Just in interest. 3 years later, 2023, 2024, it's more than double, because double would have been 20.3 times 2, would have been 40 times 40.6. That's double. Would have been 40.6. Would have been 40.6. And of course, in 2023, 2024, gonna be 46.5, 46.5, 46.5, 46.5. So it more than doubled. 46.5 just billion. A billion. Billion is 1,000 million. That's how much interest we pay. That's how much interest we pay. That's how much interest we pay. The interest on the debt. The debt interest. Just on the public debt. Look at that. More than double. This year we're going to pay 46.5 from 20.3 in 3 years. 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 Look at that. So that is proof. And I'm excited. You know, I struggled with Asperger's, you know, obsessive interests and lost friendships. I made lots of friends in the past 7 years. I lost 99% of them. 99% of the friends, you know, and like 99% of the friends. But now I'm making new friends, you know. Friends with benefits only, pledge your allegiance, allegiance to our family. Friends with benefits only, pledge your allegiance, allegiance to our family. Friends with benefits only, pledge your allegiance, allegiance to our family. Friends with benefits only, pledge your allegiance, allegiance, thou, art family, and that's what we gotta get doing, get drilled, and get drilled for the XYZ, you know, so that's what we're gonna get doing with that. So the DRT, debt refusion theory. D stands for debt refusion, R refusion, T theory. And my theory contains monetary integration, so I'm gonna now explain it. And of course, this I started to write in a long time ago. I'm just gonna get away out of my citizen fucking. It's gonna do a little bit of jog. Gonna do a little bit of jogging. Is gonna do a little bit of jogging there. So I went, of course, on the right side to let him, of course, pass on the right, of course, and encourage that. And the DRT theory now explained. The DRT theory now explained. The DRT theory now explained. So we're gonna take all the public and the private debt. My 10,500 as a private citizen, as a citizen dragon, zero rainbow dragon. I got 10,500, 10,500, 10,500. 10,500, 10,500. That's my private debt as a private citizen, philosopher, artist, as we would retrograde amnesia, who suffered being depressed, who's now being the past years healed during COVID and being reborn during COVID. Adrian on a dragon, nothing that I want to go back to, nothing that I want to go back to, nothing that I want to go back to, you know. So see my fellow cousins doing a little bit of love in there, and always brings me joy to see others jogging here. And this is not the main road. This is parallel to the main road, and this is a plantation zone, so you gotta be careful if you get that plantation zone. What it says there, it says plantation zone. Anyways, so the DRT explained we're gonna take all the public and the private debt. My 10,500, my 10,500, my 10,500, mine, yours, ours. For my 10,500, yours, coast to coast, coast to coast, coast to coast, coast to coast, ocean to ocean, ocean to ocean, ocean to ocean, and XYZ, 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 and that's what we're gonna do. So my 10,500, your 10,500, my 10,500, yours, ours, coast to coast. Since the United States dollar still is the currency of choice for world trade, international business, global finance, and import-export, the US dollar, we're gonna convert it. All the public and the private debt, including my 10,500, Canada coast to coast, into the US dollars. We're gonna add it with the public-private debt of US, together with the Mexican peso, the public-private debt of Mexico. We're going to convert the pesos to US dollars. And of course, we're going to do the same, but they have to be willing. Of course, willingly. Coalition, North American Union, by willingly loving. And of course, Cuba is part of it, but Haiti the gourd, and the other islands, Jamaica, and sending some love for reconstruction, sending some LOV for reconstruction. When we come together, we're going to be able to do it, blah, 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 blah. It has to be done. I have my will there, my will to put this online, to do all this work for years and years and years, you know. Sometimes we just got to rock and roll drill, man, and we have to do it. My brothers and sisters, Quebecers, Canadians, there's no other way. You saw proof. But my DRT theory to be implemented, as much as I suffer, struggle the years, and now being joyous, and gratitude, grateful, and of course, wanting a little matchmake, and, you know, I want a massage therapy to be able to afford it, but you know. And where I used to live, I always say I'm grateful what I have now. It's way, way, way better. But if I would have stayed where I used to live, I would have probably been, like I say, dead or in jail. If I would have stayed where I used to live, I say, of course, I would have probably been dead or in jail. I say that where I used to live, if I would have stayed there, I would have probably been dead or in jail if I would have stayed there. But I healed a lot and written tens of thousands of pages of philosophy, and now I'm giving to you in an oral communicative manner the DRT debt refusion theory, the D debt refusion theory for the creation of the UE. Non, ça fait plaisir, pas de problème. And for the creation of the UE, you know, so that's what I gotta do. I gotta get out of the way, gotta get out of the way, gotta get out of the way. You know, when they get in the XYZ, you know, so I'm filming here, so that's what we're gonna get doing on the XYZ, you know, so that's what we're gonna get doing on the XYZ, you know, and we gotta get on the way out of the joggers, man. Gotta let them jog a little bit. And I'm discussing the DRT, you know, so we gotta get it on that XYZ, you know, so, you know, and I play that defense, and I always play to get out of the way for the fellow citizens to get on that jog, you know, and get on that jog XYZ, so I gotta get out of the way, you know, so gotta get out of the way, and we gotta get it on, gotta look at my son, the Pope, you know, that's my king, Soleil. Anyways, we gotta get it on the XYZ, on the XYZ, on the XYZ. And we gotta get it on the XYZ, man. You gotta get it on the love first, man. So the DRT is the only solution. You know, the only solution is the DRT, the debt refusion theory, and we gotta get it on the XYZ, you know, so. Anyway, so that's what we're gonna be doing, you know, so that's what we're gonna be doing on the XYZ, you know, so we gotta get it on the DRT, the debt refusion theory, the DRT, debt refusion theory for the creation of the UE, the universal exchange unit, the universal exchange unit, the universal exchange unit, the universal exchange unit, the UE, the universal exchange unit, the UE. So we're gonna take all the public and the private debt, my debt, your debt, my debt, our debt, my debt, your debt. So we're gonna take it all. We're gonna take it all. All my 10,500 coast to coast, all the debt of all countries of North America be extended. NATO, NORAD, transatlantic. So all the debt converted to US dollar will be financing, will be the initial money supply, 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 the initial money supply for a new central bank, just like they did with the ECB and the European Central Bank. All the debt, public and private. So we're gonna do that, and we're gonna create a new currency called the UE based on the US dollar, the value of the US dollar. It starts with me here on the 8th of July. So the UE will be universal exchange unit. The U dot E dot universal U dot E dot exchange unit. Universal exchange unit, the universal U dot E dot universal E dot exchange unit, the universal exchange unit. The UE based on the US dollar. We're gonna set an interest rate level of 10% max. It could be 3.33, 7.70, 1.56, 3.33, 4.18, 8.0, 7.70, 6.1, 9.3. Below 10 by principle, not more. So not more than 10. That's what we're gonna be doing. Create the UE, create a central bank, the North American or Transatlantic Western Union Bank. A central bank could be with the Bank of International Settlements, with the BIS, satellite connected. That's why I'm asking my Scorpio brothers. It's a fact. Of course, it takes all the astrological signs, Scorpio, Sagittarius, rocks in this way, and Leos, and all the 12 plus the 13, and Taurus, and of course Aquarius, and Pisces, and whatever the case may be, Cancer, and Gemini, and you know, all the signs. But fact is that my Scorpio brother is Joe Biden. Joe Biden is a Scorpio of Blackhawk, Blackstone, and BlackRock are a private financial institution, and Larry Fink is a Scorpio, of course, of a private financial institution, coupled with the, of course, the Bill Gates and Joe Biden is a Scorpio, and Larry Fink, all the three of them are Scorpios, just like that is a fact. It has nothing to do with the financial, just to say that it takes the public and the private, just to say that it takes the public and the private to play together to create, of course, the UE, the Universal Exchange Unit, the UE, the Universal Exchange Unit, the U dot Universal E dot Exchange Unit, the UE, Universal UE, U dot E dot exchange unit, the UE, U for universal, E for exchange unit, based on the US dollar, biometrics, the hand, the voice are unique biometric identifiers. That's why it takes a public-private partnership. And with all this money, we're going to be able to rebuild the infrastructure of North America, finance the public-private partnership armies, the dancing goddess army and the dragon army, dancing goddess army, dragon army, vice versa. Finance, mass finance citizens to work out, to train, to exercise. Finance, mass finance citizens to work out, to train, exercise, clean the environment, build more satellites, computer integration, of course. And of course, we're going to be able to do mass finance citizens to work out and secure food, housing, and transport, and create the complementary covenant and cooperative institutions of the 21st century, and build the three, the three, one right here, the house of the dragon, pyramid, scarlet, crimson, and red, crimson and scarlet. Red, crimson, and scarlet. Basically, scarlet and crimson are a shade of red. Pyramid. I need a simple house. Face to face with a forgotten goddess temple. 7 stories high. 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 7 stories. For the forgotten goddess temple, for full moon. Of course, for full moon activities such as full moon activities, and of course, dancing for the DJ, dancing goddess army, for dream interpretation, for astrology, forgotten goddess temple with a house of the dragon, and the third one, the Rainbow People's Palace, because that's what money is. Money serves a purpose, and I'm just gonna stretch a little bit with this rock right here because I love the rock. So there's a rock here which I really love, and I really like this rock right here. So and I love to stretch with it, so got that good stretching down, and here you can work out, and here we're gonna help build the forgotten goddess temple face to face with the house of the dragon right here, house of the dragon, scarlet, red, crimson, with the forgotten goddess temple there. You can work out, train with some rocks. You can work out, train, and exercise with some rocks. And we got to get it for that XYZ plantation zone, and for the truckers, LOV, truckers love, and firefighters, butchers, bakers, nurses, doctors, and grocery store clerks always. LOV, and here we're going to build North American complex, the North American Civilizational Complex, unite. North Americans unite for the dancing goddess in the dragon kingdom, and of course, we're going to build that DRT, integrate, of course, and that's what we're going to be doing, the North American Civilizational Complex of North America to unite, the complex of North America to unite, the complex of North America, North American Union, the Democratic Republic of North America. We got to be doing it in the 21st century, brothers and sisters. I saw a video in French from 1963. Majority, like about two-thirds of Quebecers back then wanted to join the USA, most of Canadians. So it's time to do like the European Unions did. They created a common currency we can build together. We're already North Americans. You're already here in the free world. So we're going to do what we've done with the French linguistic compromise. We compromise. When I come outside now, I make a compromise. My liberty, my security, my liberty, my security, my liberty, my security. It's with all others, liberty and security, to be my joy, my work, my liberty, my security, to be in balance, in harmony, in equilibrium with somebody else. I try to make an effort, get out of the way. If it's too narrow, they come jogging, So XYZ, they smile, they say hello. I smile, I say hello, So, you're free to say whatever you want to say, but I draw the line. You can't make threats, You cannot threaten me as a citizen. You can't make threats, and I play defense, and we're gonna play with the Dragon Army that defense. We're gonna have the Hawk initiative, Sky initiative for defense, build coast to coast interceptors where we're gonna be able to intercept incoming intercontinental ballistic missiles from the east, where the Atlantic is. The ocean of the Atlantic is on the east, and the Pacific is on the west. So we're gonna be able to do that. Coast to coast, ocean to ocean is my call to all. North Americans unite. That's what we're gonna be able to be doing. And with satellites, we're gonna be able to, of course, do an Operation Northern Scorpio. Northern Scorpio for the ground. Gotta be mobile, 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 and hot. I'm gonna do the HAWK, build more satellite. Public-private partnership, NORAD, take it to the 21st century. Dragon Army, NORAD, man. Gonna be able to get that XYZ and do the NORAD, man. You know, I gotta be watching for the groundhogs here, man. Gotta be watching for the XYZ for the groundhogs. Gotta get it on that step and on that step thing, you know. So that's what I gotta be doing. You know. Gotta be doing for the XYZ, you know. So we gotta be XYZ on it, you know. Super important. See, that's why you gotta go in that. All the garbage gotta go there, and the recycling gotta go on the other way. That's why if you leave pollution here, you got the flora on the fauna, and you gotta get the flora on the fauna, and that's what we gotta get on the doing, you know. So, gotta get that flora on the fauna right here. Look at that beautiful crow, man. That's that crow, man. That's a nice crow. Crow on the rose, on the doze, on the flow, on the row, on the crows. Butchers and the beggars and the nurses and the doctors on those helicopters. Chopper, chopper, chopper. The DRT, my brothers and sisters, is the only solution. You saw proof. And you know, I'm an Aspie. I'm not an alien extraterrestrial. I like my cheese. I like my bacon. I like my sweets. I like my, you know, my food. And I would love to have a better place. I'm grateful where I live there, you know, but that's what I love to do, geopolitics and analysis, and we're going to play that defense, you know, play that defense coast to coast, and got to play that defense coast to coast, man. That's what we got to be doing, man. Going to play that gonna play that defense, man. Coast to coast, ocean to ocean, like I'm defending Brady in the Super Bowl, Brady in the Super Bowl, like I'm defending Brady in the Super Bowl, man. I'm defending Brady and Purdy and Brady, you know, that's Super Bowl 53, man, you know. When one of my favorite Super Bowls is 13.3. One of my favorite Super Bowls is the one where so defensive, the lowest ever score is one of my top 3 Super Bowls. The highest ever, close to highest ever score was my 49ers. And, you know, I also like the Super Bowl called the blackout, hardball ball. And here I am working out training exercise. So we're going to play that defense. We're going to have to implement the Northern Scorpio Initiative and the Skyhawk, North American Hawk defense strategic initiative, but I can't discuss too much of the theories because it's a matter to discuss with the public security ministers, so I can't really divulge too much about it, but nonetheless we're gonna get that. I'm gonna put it here, you know, because I need to do a little bit of that hydration, man. Super important to get a little bit of that hydration. Super important to get hydrated. Super important to get hydrated, HYDRAT. Thank you to the workers who build. Imagine all the work underneath miles and miles and miles for us to have drinking water here, man. So, gotta get it on the hydration, man. Gotta get on the hydration. Oh yeah. Oh, that feels good. Yeah. Oh yeah. That feels good, man. Oh yeah. So imagine all that work. Imagine all that work to do underneath, man. All those pipes, just for me, for you, for us to have cleaning potable water. All the pipes. All the pipes for me to have clean, zero pollution and water. So all those pipes by the miles and miles laid on the ground to have potable water here on the mountain. So much work has been done to do it. Yeah. That's only in French. It needs a little bit of translation for the tourists, you know. There's something more translation because it's only in French, you know. So that's all we gotta forget doing. Gotta We gotta get doing, man, you know. That's all we gotta get doing, man. You know? That's why it's it, man. Oh yeah. Here we're gonna get it on the drill, man. Oops. Gotta be watching it, so gotta be watching how these are gonna get doing, man. He's gonna be doing right there, you know. So that's what they're gonna be doing. I gotta get hydrated once again, man. Somebody hugging, kissing, that's always good, you know. Always like to see people kissing and hugging, and got an XYZ for that lovers, man. Somebody making that LOV, having fun, and people are there excited, and this is the best place on the planet right here. We're gonna switch to that French's with appel, Prive. You know, so we're gonna get it on the XYZ, you know. That's what we're gonna get doing, man, you know. Sometimes it's LOV, we gotta do it for the drill, for the kill, for the farmers, butchers, bakers, nurses. We gotta maybe do it a little bit for that sun. Hydrate, HYDRAT. There we go, gotta stay as much as I can here for the children's safety and joy, you know. Gotta be having good fun. This is the only place I kind of love. My favorite place to go. Gotta get a little bit of dancing and get a little bit of that X, you know, and people holding, and get it for that drill, you know. So that's what I love, you know, for the lovers right here, man. Somebody making some of that good love, the sun shining, and somebody making that good love, and that's always good, you know. I always like to see people doing that LOV, because it ain't all about the money, so gotta get it for that LOV and get it for that dimensions, man, you know. Let's get it for those dimensions right there, and always getting for people to get a little bit of X and a little bit of exercise and a bit of hydration, and always get it for the XYZ, man, and always love it for the farmers, butchers, bakers, nurses, doctors, firefighters, lovers, and all those involved in the production, distribution of food, you know, and they be getting on that production of food, you know, and that's why we gotta get that good loving, man. And, good loving rock and roll, man. You know, somebody give me hope today. I see y'all loving. Give me some hope, you know. Gonna do a little dance, you know, maybe do a little bit of dance right there in the sun, I guess. Yes, you win, man. We're gonna switch it to that French in a little bit after La Belle Province, but nonetheless, we can get a little bit of drill here, and I'm always grateful when I see you. Come on, some of that good loving, man. You know, just getting on that LOV, man. It's something that's hot, you know. Some might pop the king, you know. Gonna be do a little stretch, man. Stretch, a little exercise, man. Get a little bit of stretch exercise, man. Do a little bit of dance. Dancing is their favorite sport, you know. So gonna do marching dance. A little something, nothing big. A little to the sun a little bit. For the farmers, butchers, NATO. For the greatest woman I know. Here we go, let's go. Just a little bit, a little something. Let's go for the love, Let's go. Nurses, doctors.
Puis là, le lendemain, lui, il s'est levé full tôt pour travailler. Moi, je me suis levée après, je travaillais devant lui. Puis je sais qu'il est comme, c'est comme quand il fait ses affaires, genre, ça serait pas le genre de comme pendant qu'il fait de tapoter les pieds ou whatever pendant qu'il travaille. Mais là, moi, à un moment donné, j'ai genre, il me parlait d'autres choses puis il travaillait plus. Fait que j'ai juste mis, genre, on était comme les deux de même face à sa table. Puis là, moi, j'ai juste mis, genre, mon pied de même sur son pied. Puis j'ai comme senti que ça a dit qu'il était full à l'aise. Il a pas enlevé son pied, mais il a pas, genre, là, après, quand je partais, genre, il était encore assis à côté genre, de son ordi, il regardait les nouvelles. Là, genre, il m'a comme fait un câlin, mais j'ai eu l'impression, tu sais, moi, je suis comme, j'attendais qu'on aille à texte, ben, je restais comme un peu, puis j'allais pas le voir pendant ça. J'ai comme eu l'impression que j'étais comme, rien, genre, vous me décoller. Puis après ça, j'étais genre, ah, genre, là, j'étais comme pas mal. Là, après, quand je partais, il y a comme dit, ah, genre, c'est nice, genre, tu sais, le feeling de quand tu t'en vas en vacances, genre, dans le sens, il y en a qui sont dans ton pays. La première chose, c'était genre, j'ai hâte aussi. J'ai dit, on se prévoit ça, genre, pas au States, pas au Québec. Puis là, il m'a juste dit ça de même, puis j'étais là. Puis moi, j'avais toutes mes affaires, genre, j'attendais d'ouvrir la porte, puis j'étais comme, OK, puis j'attendais comme la suite, puis j'étais là, ben. Mais moi, dans ma tête, ça a comme vite fait de genre. Puis là, j'ai juste fait genre. Puis là, genre, j'ai comme ouvert la porte, puis il a dit, bye, bonne chance. J'étais tellement off, genre, la vibe était comme weird. Puis là, après, je me suis dit, fuck off. Je veux pas genre non plus juste faire comme pas y parler, mais genre là, je le sens que comme en plus moi la veille j'avais comme fait genre je voulais être comme plus proche de toi, puis genre je veux aussi comme être plus proche en dehors de.
Ready? Jade. Et voilà, on en fait une petite danse. Bien comme il le faut. Non, on va retourner. On va s'hydrater. Puis on rentre dans la forêt avec du rock&roll. La gratitude de 24 sur 24. De chez nous de ma grotte. Dans la belle province, je parlais pas moi dans l'amour. Je veux rien savoir, merci, bonjour. Remerciements à ceux qui ont fait le travail. Pour que j'aille de quoi boire ici. On va relaisser sinon on s'hydrate. Oh yeah, ça fait du bien. Remerciements à ceux qui ont fait bâtir ceci dans le 20e siècle pour avoir de l'eau potable. 20e siècle pour avoir de l'eau potable. Avec une marmotte, on se dirige et on sort. On y va dans la forêt, fait qu'encore une fois la gratitude. Mon loyer est payé, ma voiture est excitée, j'ai du café et du thé, fait que dans la forêt, bienvenue à une autre session de votre dragon arc-en-ciel avec du rock&roll. On rentre dans la forêt, sur la montagne, s'il vous plaît, si vous venez ici, ne pas laisser des déchets, des choses que ça soit. La pollution pour les lapins, les écureuils ou d'autres animaux. Pour la flore, pour la faune, si vous allez dans la montagne ici, dans Montréal, ma deuxième maison, mettez dans le recyclage comme j'ai fait tantôt dans le début de la vidéo. Ne pas laisser de la pollution. Ça va faire la pollution, puis ça va tuer des lapins. Des bisous pour ceux qui font l'effort. Des bisous, puis des câlins, puis des chatouilles. Et bien sûr, on rentre dans la forêt avec gratitude. La gratitude. 24 sur 24. Mon loyer est payé, ma facture d'électricité est payée, puis j'ai du café, j'ai du thé. Je vous encourage, Québécois, Québécoises, à l'entraînement physique. Puis avec la gratitude de l'entraînement physique, c'est ma médecine et thérapie de choix. Puis ici à la droite, parce que car, c'est pas juste ma montagne, c'est pas juste ma montagne, c'est... Oh, pas juste ma montagne, c'est la mienne, la vôtre, la mienne, la tienne, c'est pas juste la mienne, c'est la mienne, la vôtre, la nôtre. Fait qu'il faut faire un effort, l'individuel est commun, pour la préservation de la flore et de la faune. Comme vous voyez ici, c'est écrit bien clair. Zone de plantation à vie important, vie important, vie important, comme je vous donne la fréquentation du parc et l'augmentation du nombre de sentiers non autorisés, blablabla, blablabla. Je reste par la droite et je fais un effort, bien sûr, physique. Et bien sûr, super important de faire l'entraînement physique. L'entraînement physique a été sur ma médecine et thérapie de choix. L'entraînement physique a été sur ma médecine et thérapie de choix. L'entraînement physique a été sur ma médecine et thérapie de choix. Fait que je vous encourage, tous et toutes. Aujourd'hui, la gratitude de mon loyer. J'ai payé mon loyer pour le mois de juillet. On est le 9. On est le 8, correction. On est le 8 juillet 2024. Mon loyer est payé, ma facture d'électricité est payée. J'ai du café puis du thé. J'ai du café puis du thé. Ma facture d'électricité est payée. J'ai du café puis du thé. Puis le soleil, mon papa, je sens du rock&roll pour les fermiers amour. 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 Pour les pompiers, les boulangers, ceux qui font Là, travaille dans l'Hydro-Québec du passé et du présent pour en bâtir d'autres centrales. Vos dragons arc-en-ciel avec Asperger, j'ai l'Asperger, je répète 2-3 fois la même chose, mais je fais la gestion de mes symptômes parce que il n'y a pas de médicament pour l'Asperger, c'est une condition de neurodivergence. C'est chic, j'ai des obsessions, mes intérêts obsessifs. C'est la géopolitique 24/24 pendant des années, puis je suis un analyste et théoricien indépendant en géopolitique. Un artiste, athlète et philosophe en géopolitique indépendant, puis bien sûr avec mes propres souffrances que j'ai souffert, puis je suis ici, on est le 8 juillet, bien sûr, puis ça face bien sûr de la belle province. Je vous encourage à faire l'entraînement physique, car et parce que, et tout à fait, ça fait du bien, puis ici avec votre soutien, puis mes milliards de bisous des châteaux, puis avec Rock&Roll, mes milliards de bisous, puis Rock&Roll, mes milliards de bisous, puis Rock&Roll, je vous fais appel pour la construction, vis-à-vis et face à face. La maison du dragon, la maison du dragon, la maison du dragon. Écarlate, 3 chambres, chambre à coucher, chambre à coucher, chambre à coucher. Une chambre à coucher, une chambre avec un bain tourbillon. Et bien sûr, une chambre avec un bain tourbillon ici. Et bien sûr, une chambre avec un bain tourbillon. Avec une salle de cuisine, une cuisine bien. Une chambre. Puis ici, vis-à-vis, face à face, le temple de la déesse. D-E-E-S-S-E, déesse, oubliez déesse, oubliez une déesse. Oubliez à cet étage pour l'activité comme la pleine lune. L'activité de la pleine lune, la nouvelle lune, l'équinoxe, et puis l'astrologie, face à face, avec la maison du dragon. Pyramide, 3 chambres, juste j'ai besoin. Face à face avec le temple de la déesse, oubliez vis-à-vis face à face. Avec mes maisons, milliards de bisous et de chatouilles, que je mets sa table avec ben du rock'n'roll, avec une troisième, que je veux que vous m'aidez à bâtir un 3e bâtiment. Là, palais du peuple arc-en-ciel comme votre dragon gay androgène pansexuel, je suis gay androgène pansexuel, blablabla, philosophe, artiste, athlète, puis qui vous encourage à faire l'entraînement physique, puis aujourd'hui je médite sur les élections en France, et un retour, un revers, et, vous savez, je suis un philosophe universel centré, je suis nord-américain, canadien, québécois, fait que ben, même si je peux faire une analyse profonde, en vigueur, ça reste que je suis québécois, canadien, nord-américain, même si je suis un citoyen pour la paix universelle, pour la paix mondiale, puis un mystique, j'ai vécu bien des réincarnations, j'étais né entre 1635 et 1904 plusieurs fois ici, sur l'île de Montréal, j'ai rencontré Louis C, puis des fois j'étais né homme, femme, de l'ancienne Égypte, passant par l'Empire romain, un couple de fois par les États-Unis, quand j'étais né 3 fois aux États-Unis entre 1776 et 1944. 3 fois, 2 fois homme, 1 fois femme. Et 2 fois, j'ai servi après 1776 dans ces incarnations dans l'armée des États-Unis. Dans l'armée des États-Unis. Puis, faut faire l'amour, parce que demain, l'OTAN se rencontre. L'organisation, donc, on fait partie avec 32 autres. Puis ça va être qui le 33, votre dragon arc-en-ciel. Le dragon vous propose pour le Mexique, que ça soit une proposition, puis que ça soit pour le dragon. Pour le dragon arc-en-ciel, lever le soleil, puis ici il y a de la poésie. Si vous savez pas, je vous donne un défi de construire, puis de bâtir, puis de voir. La poésie, puis écrivez donc un poème. Je peux faire un poème parce que je suis artiste et poète qui danse le plus. La danse, sport, l'entraînement physique, puis la danse est mon sport préféré. La danse est mon sport préféré. La danse est mon sport préféré. Et puis, je vous encourage à faire l'entraînement physique. Un poème sur la montagne. Un poète, il se perd dans ses pensées. Il espoir, s'il vous plaît. Chez eux, il y a un peu de vin, pas beaucoup, mais il pense en clair de tonnerre. Et il voit la cousine qui passe, puis elle fait des grimaces. Puis elle dit, whoop! Moi, je bouge mieux que vous, dragon arc-en-ciel, quand je danse. Mais, grosse fesse, et voilà. Ça fait de bon, puis là, je vais encore rentrer en physique, puis maintenant, je vais discuter de la TRD, parce que c'est super important, là, que je la discute, parce que je veux pas oublier, fait que ça presse. Et puis, c'est une théorie que, 7h18, c'est une théorie, bien sûr, qui doit être implémentée, j'y crois de tout cœur, tu sais, que la TRD, ma théorie, ça doit être implémenté. Puis, mes chers, vous savez, j'ai survécu la COVID. C'était comme la mort, la pestilence, puis la maladie. C'était comme la mort, la pestilence, c'était comme la mort, la pestilence, puis la maladie pour moi-même. La COVID, je l'ai eu en février-mars 2020. Ça fait plus que 4 ans. Puis, j'ai même survécu la dépression puis le suicidaire. J'ai traversé le Canada de côte à côte. Puis cet événement-là, ça m'a fait sortir de la dépression. Puis je me suis dit tellement de choses à faire, à voir. J'ai dit tellement de choses à faire, puis à voir tellement de choses à faire. Là. Puis à voir, bien sûr. Fait que ça a fait tellement de choses à voir puis à faire que, bien sûr, ça a fait des choses que je fasse, bien sûr. Tellement de choses à faire puis à voir, bien sûr, que ça l'a fait... ça l'a fait, bien sûr, des choses que j'avais faites, puis avoir, bien sûr, c'est ça qui est ça, puis donc, c'est ça qu'il faut faire. Donc, la TRD, la théorie de la refusion de la dette, je vous encourage à faire, puis bien sûr, c'est la seule et unique théorie, bien sûr, il n'y a pas d'autre théorie, puis je vous dis, bien sûr, que c'est la seule et unique théorie, la seule et unique théorie, bien sûr, qui peut nous sauver, d'où qu'on est rendu, puis c'est un paradoxe, hein? C'est un gros paradoxe, là, parce que j'ai souffert, puis une de mes obsessions, c'est la géopolitique, puis la géopolitique, mais la dette publique, puis privée à un certain point, ça fait partie de la géopolitique, puis j'ai étudié aussi les civilisations, fait qu'en faisant partie de ces choses-là, mais en étudiant la civilisation, bien sûr, la civilisation, bien sûr, la civilisation, puis c'est des choses-là, bien sûr, qu'il faut faire, puis c'est toujours important de faire une méditation, bien sûr, puis que ça fasse, bien sûr, en faisant la TRD, la théorie de la refusion de la dette, la théorie de la refusion de la dette, la théorie de la refusion de la dette, la TRD, théorie de la refusion de la dette. Et donc, c'est quoi la TRD? C'est la théorie de la refusion de la dette qu'il faut faire l'implémentation à ce moment, bien sûr, en faisant la TRD. Donc, la TRD, c'est la théorie de la refusion de la dette. Et je vais vous montrer pourquoi je dis ça, que c'est la seule et unique solution. Puis j'y crois vraiment, il n'y a pas d'autre solution, mes chers. Fait que regardez, maintenant, je vais vous montrer la preuve, pourquoi je dis ça, pourquoi j'y crois. Puis j'y crois tellement parce que j'ai été maudit par l'Asperger's, puis que je donne une bénédiction. Puis je ne suis pas juste pour moi-même, tu sais. Je dis souvent que si j'aurais resté habité où j'habitais avant, j'aurais été mort peut-être en prison ou mort. Si j'aurais resté où j'habitais avant, j'aurais été peut-être mort en prison. Si j'aurais resté où j'habitais avant, j'aurais été peut-être mort en prison. Fait que ça fait toujours une affectation. Fait que c'est toujours des choses, bien sûr, qui me viennent... pour en faire, bien sûr, pour vous dire, bien sûr, que c'est la seule unique solution, la TRD. Donc, c'est quoi la TRD? La T, c'est la théorie, R, refusion de la dette. TRD. La T comme théorie, R comme refusion, D comme de la dette. Et la théorie de la dette, refusion de la dette, ça inclut la théorie d'intégration citoyenne, ça inclut la théorie d'intégration citoyenne, d'intégration monétaire, correction. Ma théorie, ça inclut la théorie d'intégration monétaire. Qu'est-ce que c'est ça? C'est bien sûr la théorie qui ont fait l'implémentation en Europe, dans la communauté européenne. Dans la communauté européenne, ils ont fait une monnaie commune. Ils ont laissé tomber les années 80, ça fait longtemps. Fait qu'ils ont laissé tomber leur ancienne monnaie, puis ils ont créé une nouvelle monnaie commune. On va faire la même chose, mais ma TRD, c'est spécial, puis c'est la seule solution, là, parce que, tu voyez, je suis pas juste altruiste, je veux quelque chose de mieux, même si j'ai de la gratitude, que mon loyer est payé, puis ma facture d'électricité est payée, puis bien sûr, j'ai du café, du thé, puis je fais du travail avec mon ordinateur portable, puis avec tous les outils que j'ai, incluant tout mon corps, puis mon cerveau, puis mon Asperger's. Encore une fois, ce n'est pas une maladie mentale, l'Asperger's, c'est une condition de neurodivergence psychique mentale. C'est une condition de neurodivergence psychique mentale. C'est l'Asperger, c'est une condition de neurodivergence psychique mentale. Fait que moi-même, tu sais, j'ai ces obsessions-là, j'ai des intérêts obsessifs. La géopolitique 24 sur 24. Le sport, l'entraînement physique, la danse est mon sport préféré. La danse est mon sport préféré. La danse est mon sport préféré, là. Et puis, les analyses de civilisation, puis plus de bactéries, microbes, puis germes. Là, je suis un petit peu obsédé par l'hygiène en public, des choses comme ça. Puis je me nettoie chez nous, j'ai ma grotte. Anyways, la TRD, méchant Québécois, c'est la seule solution en ce moment. Il n'y a pas d'autre solution. Vous pouvez dire oui, la gauche, la droite. Je vais vous montrer la preuve. Regardez ça. Ça, là, c'est combien qu'on paye de service de la dette. En d'autres mots, combien qu'on paye d'intérêt. Intérêt sur la dette publique. Regardez ça. Ça, c'est, j'ai pris ça le 22 novembre 2023, 22 novembre 2023, le 22 novembre 2023, 2020-2021. Ça, c'était 20,3 milliards. Un milliard, c'est 1000 millions. Qu'on payait. 20,3 milliards. Un milliard, ça a 9 zéros. C'est 1000 millions. Un milliard, c'est 9 zéros. 2020-2021, c'est 20,3 milliards. Ça veut dire que c'est 22 000. Puis là, en 2023-2024, à cause de la COVID, c'est sûr, ça a plus que doublé. C'est 20,3 double, ça aurait été 20,3 fois 2, ça aurait été 40,6. C'est plus que le double en 3 ans. 46,5 milliards. C'est 46 000 millions qu'on paye cette année en intérêt seulement sur la dette publique. 46 000, ça a 9 zéros, 1 milliard, là. C'est des B, c'est billions en anglais. B, c'est pour billions en anglais. B, c'est pour billions en anglais, bien sûr. Et bien sûr, c'est 46,5. 46,5 milliards qu'on paye. Milliards qu'on paye, c'est des milliards. Un milliard, t'imagines-tu, milliard? Ça a tellement de zéros, hein, je dis, c'est la seule solution, c'est la TRD, théorie de la refusion de la dette méchante québécoise. C'est ma bénédiction dans la malédiction, c'est la bénédiction de la malédiction, c'est la bénédiction de la malédiction. C'est la seule et unique. C'est la seule et unique solution. Je vous montre encore une fois. C'est la seule et unique solution. C'est la seule et unique solution. C'est 20,3 milliards. C'est plus que le double. C'est 20,3 fois 2, c'est 40,6. 46,5 milliards qu'on paye d'intérêt, tu sais. Fait que je me suis tassé un peu parce que ma cousine a passé, puis que je considère ma famille, tu sais, comme 10 fois dysfonctionnelle, tu sais. C'est ma famille, québécoise, vous veux pas, le Canada, les Nord-Américains, moi, c'est ça que je connais, tu sais, puis le côte à côte, puis je connais la TRD, puis je travaille sur mon Asperger's parce qu'il n'y a pas de médicaments, fait que je suis obsédé quand je fais l'entraînement physique, ça fait des heures, des fois, de marche d'entraînement physique, c'est ça mes obsessions, puis la géopolitique, mais ça vient de quelque chose, de cette malédiction, parce que j'ai perdu beaucoup d'amis dans les 7 dernières années, là. Maintenant, vous êtes des amis avec bénéfice, amis avec bénéfice seulement, des amis avec bénéfice. Prêtez allégeance, Légion, vous êtes famille, prêtez allégeance. Légion, vous êtes famille, prêtez allégeance. Légion, vous êtes famille. Puis la TRD, c'est quoi? C'est la théorie de la refusion de la dette. Je vais vous l'expliquer, puis tenez compte que ma théorie, ça inclut la théorie d'intégration monétaire. C'est qu'est-ce qu'ils ont fait en Allemagne. Les Allemands, bien sûr, ils ont laissé faire le Deutschmark. Les Italiens ont laissé faire le lira. Les Français ont laissé faire le franc. Puis plusieurs pays, ils ont adopté une nouvelle unité commune d'échange, l'euro. Plusieurs pays, ils ont créé une banque centrale. On va faire la même chose, mais avec ma théorie, parce qu'il faut le faire, vous avez vu la preuve. Donc, on va prendre toute la dette, ma dette de 10 500, ma dette votre dette de côte à côte, ma dette, votre dette, ma dette de côte à côte. C'est que ma dette, votre dette, toute la dette de côte à côte, on va faire une refusion. Fait que toute cette dette-là, ma dette, votre dette, de 10 500, ma dette, votre dette, on va faire de côte à côte, avec vu que le dollar des États-Unis, c'est encore la monnaie de choix, pour les finances du monde, le commerce global, les finances du monde, les affaires étrangères, le tourisme, la devise des États-Unis, le dollar américain, c'est encore la devise mondiale, ça a été changé un peu. Mais bon, on va faire la conversion de toute la dette publique privée du Canada en dollars des États-Unis. On va mettre ensemble avec les États-Unis. On va faire une addition avec le peso mexicain. On va faire la conversion aussi. On va mettre tout ça ensemble avec le peso. Avec le peso du Mexique. On va mettre tout ça ensemble avec le peso du Mexique. Avec l'Haïti, la Gourde, s'ils veulent. Puis le Cuba, ça fait partie de l'Amérique du Nord, veut pas. Fait on va mettre tout cet argent-là converti dans toute la dette publique privée des pays nord-américains. Il faut que ça soit par volonté, là. Comme qu'on fait en Europe. C'est le temps maintenant du 20e siècle. On a dû faire ça longtemps. Là. Ça fait longtemps. C'est le temps maintenant. Avec la TRD de votre dragon arc-en-ciel, philosophe, artiste, athlète, philosophe, qui est à l'Asperger's, puis qui est androgyne gay pansexuel, qui est 50-50. Ben, je crois mystique. J'ai vécu plusieurs vies, puis des fois j'ai été né homme, femme. Mais en tout cas, c'est la TRD, je ne veux pas dévier. Là. La TRD. théorie de la refusion de la dette, la théorie de la refusion de la dette. C'est ça qu'il faut focuser. C'est les solutions. Les autres choses, j'ai des imperfections, du rock-and-roll, je me gratte, j'ai des cicatrices, tout ça, vous le savez, j'avais mis à ça, mais des choses comme ça. Mais on va prendre toute la dette publique-privée, ma dette, votre dette, ma dette. Toute la dette publique-privée, on va la mettre ensemble. Toute cette dette-là, je veux juste m'étirer un peu ici. Toute la dette, on va mettre tout ça ensemble. 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 Donc, toute ma dette, votre dette, la dette publique ainsi que privée, ça va être un paquet ensemble. Fait que ma dette de 10 500, la mienne, la vôtre, la mienne, la tienne. Tout cet argent-là, ça va fonder l'argent initial pour une nouvelle banque. L'argent initial pour une nouvelle banque, ça va fonder l'argent initial pour une nouvelle banque. Ça peut être transatlantique à travers l'OTAN. Ça veut dire, je veux que le Mexique soit, 33e membre de l'OTAN. Demain, c'est une grosse semaine. On célèbre 75 ans de l'OTAN. On fait partie avec d'autres pays, là, Canada, États-Unis, puis 30 autres pays d'Europe avec la Turquie aussi. Turquie qu'on appelle maintenant, en tout cas. Bien sûr, puis Go Canadien, demain, on va pouvoir voir la victoire. Anyway, c'est super important de faire faire l'implémentation de la TRD. Fait qu'on va prendre toute la dette publique-privée, mon 10 500, on va faire la conversion dans la devise des États-Unis, on va mettre tout ça ensemble. Tout cet argent-là de la dette publique-privée, ça va fonder une nouvelle banque. Ça va fonder une nouvelle banque. Tout cet argent-là, ça va être dans milliards. On va mettre un taux d'intérêt, on va mettre cette fondation pour l'argent en circulation, on va créer une nouvelle banque centrale, et cet argent-là, ça va être tout l'argent en circulation. On va mettre un taux d'intérêt de 10%, ça peut être 3,33, 1,56, 6,1, 9,3, 8%, 7,18, que ça soit bien sûr dans d'autres, que ça soit fait dans d'autres cas, ou d'autres cas, bien sûr, que ça soit bien sûr dans d'autres cas, bien sûr, que ça soit en bas de 10 par principe. 10 par principe, 10 par principe. Fait que tout cet argent-là, on va faire le ramassage, on va mettre tout ça ensemble, on va mettre tout ça ensemble, toute la dette publique ainsi que privée. Fait que toute cette dette-là, publique-privée, on va la mettre ensemble. Toute la dette publique-privée, on va la mettre ensemble, bien sûr. Fait que tout ça, ça va faire une nouvelle fondation de cette nouvelle banque. On va l'appeler la Banque de l'Amérique du Nord, on va l'appeler la Banque de l'Amérique du Nord, on va l'appeler la Banque nord-américaine, ça peut être avec la Banque internationale, avec la Suisse, ça peut être toutes les banques du monde, bien sûr, ensemble. Tout cet argent-là, on va la convertir en devise, on va créer une nouvelle devise, comme qu'on fait en Europe avec l'euro, on va l'appeler UI. U point, unité, E point, échange universel. U point, unité, E point, échange universel. Des UI basés sur le dollar américain, comme l'euro. Ça va être des UI. En anglais, c'est pareil. UI. Fait que français, québécois du Québec, ça va être la même chose. U point, unité, E point, échange, U point, universel. L'unité d'échange universel basée sur le dollar, la valeur du dollar des États-Unis. On va faire un gel de prix. On va faire un gel de prix du beurre, prix du pain, prix du fromage. Puis avec tout cet argent-là, on va pouvoir fonder, financer les deux institutions de partenariat public-privé, l'armée du dragon, l'armée de la déesse qui danse. Puis on va pouvoir fonder, puis à travers l'Amérique du Nord, l'infrastructure, rebâtir l'infrastructure, rebâtir l'infrastructure. On va pouvoir financer les gens à faire l'entraînement physique. J'ai créé un système d'entraînement physique qui ne requiert aucun équipement. On va pouvoir financer les gens à faire de l'entraînement physique. On va pouvoir financer les gens à faire de l'entraînement physique par un partenariat public-privé, par un partenariat public-privé, par un partenariat public ainsi que privé. Fait qu'avec tout cet argent-là, on va pouvoir le faire ensemble. Et tout cet argent-là, ça va fonder, ça va faire cette nouvelle banque. Oui, parce que ça sert l'argent. Acheter, vendre, on va pouvoir financer les gens à faire l'entraînement physique, rebâtir l'infrastructure, rebâtir l'écologie, et financer le tourisme pour le bien-être. L'entraînement physique, on va pouvoir le financer par des UI. Fait 10 pompes, ça donne un UI, ou 100 pompes, ou des accroupissements, du jogging avec le film B. Ça prend un partenaire public-privé, bien sûr, avec des institutions financières, Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg et Google et Elon Musk, la technologie, un partenariat public-privé, c'est fondamentalement, depuis des années, surtout durant la COVID, qu'est-ce que je fais appel? Le rêve de votre dragon arc-en-ciel, c'est le royaume de la déesse et du dragon qui danse, le royaume de la déesse et du dragon qui danse, le royaume de la déesse et du dragon qui danse, le royaume de la déesse et du dragon qui danse, le royaume de la déesse et du dragon qui danse le royaume de la déesse et du dragon qui danse. C'est ça fondamentalement pour un partenariat public-privé, c'est ça fondamentalement l'appel pour un partenariat public-privé, un PPP, à travers le collectif de civilisation nord-américain. C'est ça vraiment que c'est vrai seul, puis c'est ça vraiment qu'on va faire ensemble. Prêtez les gens, vous êtes famille, puis on va pouvoir avoir la joie de côte à côte la défense, bâtir plus de satellites, on va pouvoir faire, bâtir puis fonder l'initiative de l'épervier pour dans la défense du collectif de situation nord-américain, le Scorpion, opération Scorpion du Nord, parce qu'il y a des scorpions qui viennent jusqu'au Canada. C'est le Scorpion du Nord. Fait que tout ça, c'est mes principes et mes philosophies en tant qu'analyste et théoricien en géopolitique, qui fait de l'art et de la comédie aussi, mais il faut le faire, mes chers. On ne peut pas ne pas le faire. Là, ça prend ça, on ne peut pas ne pas le faire, bien sûr. Ça prend ça, on ne peut pas ne pas le faire. Ça prend la TRD, vous avez vu, la Prive. La TRD, puis ça, vous pouvez être la gauche, la droite, au centre. Moi, je suis universel centriste, avec ma trinité de théorie de philosophie, la théorie d'intégration citoyenne, la TRD que je viens de vous en discuter, la TRD, puis la théorie de fusion démocratique, ça sera l'implémentation par la quatrième dimension. C'est l'amour, l'amour, l'amour. Quelqu'un qui fasse l'amour en soi. C'est pour ça qu'on met aussi à défendre. C'est pas juste l'argent puis la bourse. Là, ça prend des deux. Hein. Puis je suis pas totalement altruiste, moi non plus. Je veux quelque chose de mieux pour moi-même, mais je suis pour l'autre. Pour moi-même aussi, j'essaie d'être balance, en harmonie, en équilibre. T'sais. Puis c'est un travail constant, toutes les choses qu'on a avec. Mais c'est la seule solution, la TRD. Ça, vous pouvez dire de la gauche, de la droite, quand que vous voulez vous ostiner. Là, mais il n'y a pas d'ostination. On ne peut pas s'ostiner là-dessus. C'est la seule solution. Vous pouvez dire non, mais oui, mais si, non. Et vous avez vu, là, ça a plus que doublé en 3 ans. C'est sûr, la COVID, mais la dette, il n'y a pas d'autre solution, mes chers. Vous pouvez être maître des finances, puis avoir des objections, mais des fois, il faut simplifier les choses, puis regarder d'autres bords. Puis si à cause j'étais maudit par Asperger, bien sûr, j'ai fait ces analyses puis théories, puis j'ai écrit bien des philosophies, puis des centaines de pages de philosophie, principalement pour le collectif de civilisation nord-américain, qu'est-ce que j'appelle le collectif de civilisation nord-américain, l'Amérique du Nord, parce que fondamentalement, je suis canadien québécois nord-américain, mais j'ai vécu ailleurs dans d'autres vies, des incarnations de l'ancienne Égypte, par la Rome, puis d'autres pays, mais non, j'ai vécu ici, puis c'est ici, je vis ici, puis c'est chez nous, ici, en Amérique du Nord, puis je le suis de la paix mondiale, mais c'est fondamentalement pour l'Amérique du Nord, qu'est-ce que j'appelle le collectif de civilisation nord-américain. On n'est pas tout à fait divorcé de l'Occident, mais on a des distinctions. Puis il faut, avec l'OTAN aussi, ça peut être transatlantique, mais je parle premièrement Canada, la TRD, au Québec, au Canada, là, parce qu'on fait partie. C'est la seule et unique solution, la TRD, il n'y a pas d'autre solution. Vous pouvez dire la gauche, la droite, c'est pas d'autre solution, il n'y en a pas. Vous pouvez dire, c'est ça, la TRD, c'est la seule et unique qui va nous sortir de cette crise, vous avez vu, là. Il vous connaît rendu, c'est urgent. Il y a une urgence, c'est ça, mais il n'y a pas de choses comme ça. C'est la seule et unique solution, méchant. Vous avez vu bien par votre propre gré, par votre propre mesure, bien sûr, qu'il n'y a pas d'autre solution, bien sûr, qu'on puisse faire, bien sûr, on puisse faire, bien sûr, des théories pour l'implémentation. C'est la seule et unique solution qu'il faut faire l'implémentation. Pour faire l'implémentation, bien sûr, puis c'est ça prend, bien sûr, pour faire l'amour, puis pour pouvoir faire l'implémentation de la TRD, puisque on va pouvoir financer les gens en fait d'entraînement physique, on va pouvoir faire beaucoup de choses avec ça, on va pouvoir faire bien des choses avec, là, c'est la seule et unique solution, vous avez vu vous-même, je vous ai fait de la preuve, tu sais, puis je veux un massage aussi, tu sais, mais les pompiers le méritent plus, financer les pompiers, on va pouvoir faire bon du public puis du privé ensemble, on va faire du bon public, privé ensemble, bien sûr que ça fasse, bien sûr que ça fasse, c'est les enfants, puis ils savent ça que ça fasse. Oh, ouais, c'est ça, vous faites bien, faire du jogging, puis bon amour, qui font des câlins, c'est ça qu'il faut défendre, tu sais. Les gens qui viennent de se donner un câlin, des bisous, des châteaux, c'est pas juste la bourse, bien sûr que ça fasse, bien sûr, pour en faire, bien sûr, avec, bien sûr, fait que c'est ça que ça prend du deux, ça prend les deux pour le temps. Je vais être patient ici, je vais être patient, puis en traversant ici, je me tourne la tête. Parce que s'ils traversent, bien sûr, il faut qu'ils viennent vite, il faut qu'ils fassent bien sûr de la XYZ, puis il faut qu'ils descendent aussi en sécurité. Là. Parce que des fois, c'est la pente qu'il faut en faire mes frères et sœurs cyclistes. Là. Des fois, je le chante du rock-and-roll pour eux autres, puis ça fait du bon rock-and-roll, puis on niaise. J'aime ça de la comédie, puis faire les compromis, je peux en faire tellement de compromis, mais des fois, c'est pas des choses qu'on puisse faire là-dessus, sur la TRD, là, c'est la seule solution. Vous pouvez vous ostiner si vous voulez. Moi, je m'ostine pas trop, j'aime ça faire les choses, puis les choses que moi-même je fais, c'est des choses qui me préoccupent, pas que je m'occupe pas bien sûr de moi-même, puis c'est ça qu'il faut que je fasse de moi-même. Et c'est bien sûr l'intégration, bien sûr, citoyenne qu'il faut faire, avec ça parallèlement. Et bien sûr qu'il faut que ça fasse ici par les Y, par les Z, puis par qu'est-ce qu'il faut qu'on aille, bien sûr. Puis on travaille surtout le racisme, tu sais, le racisme, on pourrait travailler bien sûr, et que ça fasse bien sûr, avec tout ce qu'on a, c'est pas des bisous, des chatouilles puis des câlins, tu sais.
What do you mean find the
You guys got to go to the Belvedere if you guys never went.
Oh no, we've been there before. Yeah, we're actually gonna go to the other side for the sunset.
Oh yeah. Okay, I thought you were tourists and you were looking to go, and I said you can't miss the city. So you were just, vous êtes allé là-bas, genre?
Ouais.
Ok. Ouais, parce que d'habitude je parle avec les touristes, puis tu sais ils viennent, puis ils veulent retourner, fait que je leur dis non, allez voir la ville là. Have fun, guys. Yeah, man, I gotta go see that Belvedere. Il faut qu'il y ait voir le Belvedere ensemble. So we gotta get on that XYZ, man. Faut qu'il y ait voir le Belvedere. See that Belvedere. Sometimes there's tourists. I send them the other way. I say you gotta go get that Belvedere. You gotta get that Belvedere. You gotta get around the X and the Y and the Z. So faut qu'il y ait voir le Belvedere. Faut qu'il y ait voir le Belvedere. Gotta get on the XYZ. Anyway, we gotta get that hydrated. HYDRATE, man. Yeah. Hydratation. Hydrate, man. Oh, yeah. I'll drink some more, man. More hydration, plus d'hydratation. Yeah. Oh yeah. Woo. That's it. C'est tout. Now together for that rock and roll as we go. Hiking, yeah. Oh yeah. Feels good, man. Let's get on the legs, man. Gotta get it for the rock and roll. Rock and roll up and let's go. For the firefighters and the butcher. And the truckers and those lovers. Somebody gotta love her. How about the railroad conductors on the trains? You know they be switching on those lanes. Firefighter, giving us some of that chopper. For the NATO troops we go. And we gotta rock and roll for love. We're gonna get it for the road. And if you go in the forest, watch it so you don't slip on the toes. If you go in the forest, especially at night. We gotta go in for those slipping on the toes. For the fabric, here we go. If you're not talking about loving, go dumb out here, nothing. I just blah 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 we do. I just blah 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 we see you. They ain't love us, they just pretending. For the free world, keep on trying. It ain't all about Wall Street. Gotta give it for you eat. Gotta give it for you bleak. Gotta give it for you seek. Gotta get up in the dumb. Gotta get up in the sun. Gotta give up in the Holy One. Gotta been up in the Holy Sun. I'm gonna kiss it for the butchers. I'm gonna kiss it for the lovers. For the Thelemites, you know above us. Thelemites up in discussion. Thelemites up into nothing. And we gotta go from zero to you know up in the go. In the go up in hello. For the fires, see we rockin' that roller. Et le soleil qui fasse et qui danse. Que ça fasse encore une fois. L'amour par-ci par-là. Que ça fasse XY. Que ça fasse donner aux financer les pompiers un massage. Financer bien sûr les pompiers, les boulangers, les administrateurs. Tous ceux bien sûr qui font de l'entraînement physique. All those who do that. Physical work. L'entraînement physique, you know, we gotta get it up for that fitness. Here in the wild, you got witness. Here in the wild, we got witness. You gotta work it until you be. For you be it on the sea. For you be it on the gear. For you be it on the seas. For you love up in the leaves. For you scream up in the bees. For you scream up in the leaves. For you say up in the dome. Up in the dome, up in let's go. For the football, for the show. For the love up in the rock and roll. Pour l'amour de la belle promesse, on va voir. On va sentir encore des ménages, que ça fasse. Les mains dans les airs et des éclairs. Et vous savez, moi c'est long ma marche. de l'entraînement physique en temps supplémentaire, votre dragon en arc-en-ciel. You know we got that overtime. Every time we work out, train on the march, we see it for the lovers march, for the lovers march, for the lovers that massage, for the lovers that's a pipe up in the sight, that's a pipe up in the light, that's a pipe up in the skies, that's a pipe up in the fries. Somebody baking, somebody cooking, somebody cooking, somebody baking, somebody baking with the cooking, somebody baking with the cooking, somebody baking, gotta look him. Somebody baking got the cooking, somebody partying, that's the Monday. Monday, here we roll, they be dancing on the score. Dancing on the love we see, dancing on the bees you be. Dancing on the freeze we freeze, dancing on the please you please. We got love it for the loving, we got love it for the butchers. We got play for the play, they be dancing here every day. We go dancing for the hay, I dancing for the Pope, the King, the Son. For my crowley here around, on dancer, puis on danse, le soleil ça danse. They got here is stepping, they just go up in the dancing, for the free up in the love, for the pre up in the server, for the pre up in the loves, for the doves up in the serves, for the peen up in the serves, for the lovers on the docks, for the firefighters. Somebody say love to some of those cops, not all, not everybody perfect. Somebody gotta sing it for that NATO troops, we get it. Personne n'est parfait, il faut qu'il chante pour les pompiers, personne n'est parfait. Il faut qu'il chante pour les pompiers, we gon' dancing good. They be dancing here to looks, they be dancing here to do, they be dancing here to sue, they be dancing for that Suzanne. Suzanne, we gotta marry me some of that. Crawly, 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 and you know we sees the bees up in the trees, and we love us though the squeeze, and we love us for the breeze, and we love us for the trees, and we love us forever. Freedom, it ain't easy, somebody gotta kiss instead of the money, hey, gotta get some harmony with that bakes, bakes on the loves, and the lovers gotta kiss, and they gotta hear another kiss, another hiss, I go with my head, I shape my hips, and I do the right and the left and the left and the right and the center, and that's right. Let's go for the dance, my favorite sport. I'm gonna say so you support pour la danse est mon sport préféré. Et l'entraînement physique, s'il vous plaît. We gotta flex up in some muscle. Gotta flex up in the jungle. Gotta flex up in the rumble. Gotta test up in the sound, do. Gotta sound up in the do. Gotta sound up into you. Gotta XYZ, you know it's blue. Got a XYZ, you know it's you. Got a XYZ, you know it's you. Got a XYZ, you know it's you. And the blues and the booze and the do's and the do's and the kisses and the flakes. And the kisses on the legs, and the kisses on the flakes, and the kisses on those bakes, and the kisses on those aches, and the kisses on those flakes, for the fakes and legs and blakes, for the legs and fakes and legs, for the left and right and center, for that you go, what about it? What about it for the freezer, for the left and for the right, and for the bee, and for the bees, and for the trees, pour les abeilles, qui ne font du miel que ça chante, puis je regarde, puis je suis en train de prendre une marche, grosse marche, des accroupissements. Let me go down with those squats and those hawks. I gotta go up and down and they techno on the block. We gotta freeze up in the sock, we gotta freeze up in the lock. And you know I love it, cause here it smells like trees and I don't bark. Ici ça sent. Ici, ça sent bien sûr que ça fasse bien sûr de la danse, puis danse de la musique, puis ça fasse bien sûr une fabrique, ça fabrique, et que ça chante bien sûr de la danse libre. Ils sont de la danse pour que ça fasse de la déesse, pour qu'ils dansent de la fromage, puis que ça fasse pour la renaissance de chez nous de la belle province, from the left and from the right. Watch your toes, step all right. And we gotta go it for those dues, and we gotta go it for those dues. And we gotta go it for the booze, and we gotta get it for the bruise. And for the lose, and we gotta get it for that soothe, and we gotta get it for the dues, and we gotta get it for the left, for the spiders on the rest, for the spiders our rest, for the best up in the Lexa, for the best up in the Flexa, for the best up in the flags, flags and dancing up in rest, et la danse, et chez nous ça fasse, encore en uniforme, Et où l'arc-en-ciel, là, puis chez nous, c'est l'entraînement physique. Puis c'est lundi de l'été. Stick dans les bicyclettes, les cyclistes. Bouge. Book those booties, for the you up in your trees, for the looks up in the seas, for the dude up in the bees, for the bees up in the shoes, for the licks up in the coos, coos up in the user, coos up in the bruiser, coos up in the looks, coos up in the butchers and the bakers and the nurses, dooza, a cooza, jacuzza, for the left and for the right up in the blues, who's, I don't know, but that's something loose. Et que ça fasse puis ça danse, puis encore bien faire une image, ben le soleil, puis le pape en cercle, ben chez nous. Bienvenue, faites les loups des fous, allô et salut. Let's go for that wolf, we gotta spend it for that dudes, we gotta spend it for that crooks. Crooks and blues and do's and fools for the love up in the lovers' do's. And we gotta get it for the crews, we gotta get it for the fools. Sometimes we just gotta get a little food, a little blues, a little food, a little school, a little dues, a little bakers and the butchers and the freezers, fools up in the screws up in the loose, and we just dancing 'cause we love it, gotta see it for you believe it, and gotta smell the trees you barking, gotta smell the trees you laughing. For the lovers, butchers, bakers, nurses, and those doctors, firefighters, LOV, massage, hey, les massages aux pompiers, je vous dis en soufflet, puis de la danse, bienvenue chez nous, ça fasse encore une fois des visages qui se caressent, des bisous, puis des fromages, ça lance le vin dans les airs, let's go for that wine up and rewind, for that sell up in the wine, for the dime up in the dines, for the dine up in the crimes, for nobody realize that's upset another side, that's a left and not a right, and we go it for the another round, and another round, puis une autre ronde, on y va encore, et tout le monde, et ça danse, du fromage, gotta get it, for the action, for the wide, and we got a left and right, and sometimes, well, you just gotta ride and out of sight, I'm just gonna go to see that sunlight. With the sun up in the pub, where the sunset up, here we go. Je vais juste aller voir où que le soleil se couche. Sans misère puis sans gêne. De chez nous, bien sûr que ça fasse. Pour un autre, pain fromage. Pour un autre, pain fromage. Puis encore de la renaissance. For the X. And for the white, and for the love, and for the sight, for the love, and for the bite, for the love, and for the sight, and for the love, and for the light, for the right to pass and free, right to pass and be to see me, pour la droite arc-en-ciel, encore une fois, pour que ça danse, pour les Grecs puis l'ex, encore une fois, le 42, 42, and sometimes you just gotta see it, sometimes you just gotta be it, sometimes you just gotta rock and roll and feel it. Sometimes you just gotta trill with it. And the sun shining, baby, with it. Squeeze lemons, gotta plain lemons. Les lemons, ça fait du citron. Avec un peu du ciment et du béton, les travailleurs en construction. Oups! Ils ont construit une autre centrale qui s'en vient de la belle province, s'il vous plaît. Et regardez, c'est le soleil qui brille. Et on va faire un peu ici de l'entraînement d'aujourd'hui. Vers le coucher du soleil. Les hommes, femmes, que ça fasse. On y va. On est de retour. Je dirige vers ma grotte. We're going back. Towards the sunset on this Monday. Vers le soleil. Ce lundi. On this Monday, I wanted to see where it's going to be the sun here. So it's not sunny now, just a little part there, I guess. I gotta come earlier, je dois venir plus de bonne heure, mais ici en théorie, je pourrais faire un couple de pompes, mais it go good, you know, so I got a little bit of sun that way, so rock and roll, man. I had a good day, good workout, it's a full day of work, good vlogs, and so much I say, because that's Asperger's, you know, I gotta be told to shush, je dois faire dire de faire plus. Fermer la gueule comme on dit en bon québécois, parler moins, mais quand je parle avec les gens, mais je leur dis c'est quoi l'Asperger, je leur explique, tu sais, c'est que ça. I gotta explain to them what is the case, and you know, that's over time every time, and I hear some music, people are dancing, having fun. I saw people holding hands, kissing, hugging, so that gives me hope. J'ai vu du monde qui se tenait par la main, qui se donne des câlins, des bisous, mais ça vaut la peine pour faire, pourquoi se battre? It's gotta be better for XYZ, for that LOV, you know. So that's worth fighting for and loving, you know. That's LOV on that good, man. Somebody LOV today, so that gives me a little bit of hope, and it's full of people here, you know, and there's a little bit of a breeze. It was very hot today, you know, kind of hot day. We gotta get it for the LOV, you know, so that's what it is for that, and come on for my fellow citizens when they crossing a little bit of the road, and you know, just meditating on everything we got, and how the day was, and working out, training, and exercising, and working out on the XYZ, you know, so that's what we're gonna be doing, man, marching towards the sun, marching towards the Citoyen, you know, so gotta be on the XYZ, you know, it's always on that drill side, you know, it's always on the drill side, you know, so back to geopolitics, you know, NATO starting tomorrow, NATO, and gotta get it on the XYZ, you know, so that's that NATO, man, you know, tomorrow they're meeting, c'est l'OTAN, puis demain c'est une grosse rencontre, 75e anniversaire, you know, so it's go NATO 24/7, and come do a little bit of drills here, you know, have a protocol for XYZ, and that's what we're gonna be doing on the XYZ, and we're gonna be exercising here in Canada as the biggest country, of course, the biggest country, of course, in biggest country, most populated country, you know, so we gotta get on that drill, you know, right there, so that's the most populated, not the most populated, most, of course, geographically expansion, so the widest, kind of is the biggest country, is the biggest country, right, c'est la plus gros pays, hein, le Canada, dans l'OTAN, fait qu'on peut faire bien de l'entraînement ici, tu sais, puis I got the protocols which I deliver, and you know, I'm a philosopher, geopolitical analyst and theorist, and I got my obsessions, you know, geopolitics is my obsessive interest. Somebody got a hug good there, you know, hug for me as well, and you know, hug for me, I could use a hug, a massage therapy session, I cannot afford it, but you know, firefighters, finance the firefighters, a massage therapy session, finance the butchers, the bakers, financer les pompiers, financer un massage thérapeutique, and I'm à la place, and that gives me some hope, you know, they give me some of that LOV, man. I kind of feel like going a bit on these, you know. For some reason, I'm just gonna do it. I hope it's not a problem, but just gonna do it, man. Just gonna do it. So I feel like doing it, so just gonna do it, man. Just la faire quand même, tu sais. Just la faire. Gonna see if I can do it all the way to the top without falling, you know. It's like military drills, man. If I go inside, retrieve this computer, make love, man. Bury me with Papa Crowley up in New Jersey. Bury me with Papa Crowley up in New Jersey. Bury me with Papa Crowley up in New Jersey. So I kind of felt like doing it, so I did it, you know. That's just sometimes we feel, man. I didn't do a mess, so, oh yeah. You can do a little workout drill, you know, you can kind of do, I could see how you could do a little bit to try to circumvent and come fast. It would be like military drills, you know, so you'll have to go up, you know, so you can come, if I would be the troops, I would say you got to do it a few times, so we will start there, and you come there, and you come there, so we would have certain things, and you would have to come here, and it would have to be a few seconds. You would be allotted a time. Fait que si je ferais des drills militaires, je vous donnerais un temps. So this would be just meditating, of course, war scenarios. In a war, comme dans un scénario de guerre. Si surmonter ces défis, je veux que vous faites 10 fois, 10 times, 3 times. So 3 times 10. Basically, 3 fois 10. Fait on va prendre le meilleur temps, right? We take the best. So I have to measure, so it'll be from here. So it'll be from here until there. So here the time, and somebody's there, you check, puck, and see how you do it 10 times. 3 times, right? 3 times. You have a 10-minute break in between. So this would be something in the war drills, you know. Ça serait bien sûr des scénarios de guerre, you know. Ça serait de surmonter kind of, you can say that they're kind of bunkers or whatever. Je veux dire que c'est des bunkers ou quoi que ce soit. Vous pouvez vous utiliser l'imagination, tu sais. That's what it is, you know, so that's all we would do. Drills, drills, drills. That's all we would do. That's all we do. It'll be for fun and for checking, you know. Pour faire le checking, you know. To do a little bit of a check. So that would be something good. I just had that as a drill, you know, because I'm a geopolitical analyst and theorist. Puis je fais bien sûr des analyses en géopolitique. And that's what of course I do, you know. So here, this hill also will be something. So ceci, ça serait quelque chose, you know. This hill will also be something. Cette vallée aussi, ça serait intéressant pour voir, puis pour faire avec les forces canadiennes, pour aller en bas, pour aller voir, to go drill, and get it XYZ, you know. So that's what it is. So that's what I would do. It's of course different scenarios, different techniques, but for that one, it will be 3 times going as fast and taking the best time. So the ones would count as one. So you do once, you come back and forth though. So one, or it could be just once until the other person and the other person stops. Okay, we could do that, or back and forth if you want. And or he back and forth. It could be somebody there to check. He has to go reach and get, of course, whatever it is that he's gonna get, or whether the flag or whatever have you, something like that. And I think this is chamomile. This is chamomile. Je pense que c'est de la camomille, ça. Do you know if this makes tea? C'est-tu de la camomille, ça? You think? Oh no. Chamomile. I was asking if this is chamomile. I'm not sure. Maybe. C'est-tu de la camomille? Maybe. It looks like it, eh? Not sure though. Looks like you can make tea from this. What's that chamomile? I think that's chamomile, you know? That's chamomile, I believe, you know? So that's chamomile, you know? So la chamomile, you know? So it's like chamomile, you know? That's what it is. So we're gonna go drill it, man, you know? It's 20 times. Gonna get it on the XYZ, you know? So beautiful, look at these beautiful yellows. C'est vraiment belles, là. C'est jaune, je trouve. Bien sûr. Les camomilles, c'est vraiment belle, ça. Really beautiful, I really love it. And you can see that we got another forest. On a une autre forêt là-bas, fait que it's always on the drills, you know, so always on the XYZ. And here's the Canadian Armed Forces. La caserne, fait que I invite NATO, NORAD, NATO mission, and blah, 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 blah. Summit, Dragon Zero, Summit, you know, so I always call for that. And let's paint a little bit of rainbow. This one, some red, rouge, la peinture, man. Anyways, gotta say my gratitude again, but gotta salute the Canadian Armed Forces, but, you know, I always say we gotta put on the protocol, you know, you gotta go change some diapers, you know, If you're gonna put on the uniform, it's gotta be a new protocol, you know, you either read some children's books or change on some diapers. Let's go, Citizen Bill Blair, blah, 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 blah. Ah oui, le citoyen Bill Blair, il faut changer des couches, bien sûr, il faut changer des couches. Ça c'est pour l'air, so we gotta get doing on the drill, on the XYZ, and we gotta get it on the LOV, you know, so gotta get it for that red, man. Ça soit bien rouge, j'aime ça voir ça. Rouge, so gotta get it on that love, man, you know. And I gotta give a shout out to the public workers, because this was built during COVID. Ça c'était construit durant la COVID ici. So I kind of like how it's done here. You can do, of course, workout, train, exercise right here with the Canadian Armed Forces, citizens, blah 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 blah, integrated avec les citoyens d'entraînement physique. Ça peut faire l'entraînement physique ici. C'est bien sûr ici, ça peut faire de l'entraînement physique. Fait que c'est ça qu'il faut faire. Puis ici, parmi ça, you can drill it in that to the left and to the right. Vous pouvez bien sûr y aller vers la gauche puis vers la droite. Mais il faut que ça, bien sûr, il faut qu'on fasse attention aux cyclistes. You gotta be able to maybe block it for an hour or 2 hours or 3 hours, whatever the case may be. But we can do here workouts. See, I see it. I already have scenario, blah 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 blah. Scenarios, drills. I have plenty of drills, blah 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 blah. J'ai bien sûr beaucoup de drills, hein, militaires, puis tout ça, réincarnation dans d'autres vies, blah blah blah. Reincarnations from past life, blah blah blah. And we gotta get it on that drill. Sometimes you gotta get in touch with that nature, you know. Your nature, my will, your will, and you know, sometimes you gotta make that compromise, you know. Il faut faire le compromis, you know, so you get it done and you start your fitness journey today. I've been on a few years, you know, so moi ça fait des années que j'ai commencé, mais I believe that's chamomile, but there's a doubt. Je pense que c'est la camomille, mais j'ai quand même un doute un peu. Drills, you know, got a coast to coast, ocean to ocean, to code, highways, food security, food, transportation, always meditations, you know. Defense, security initiative, defense, coast to coast, ocean to ocean, de la défense, de côte à côte, de l'océan, océan, de la défense, de côte à côte, de l'océan, océan, ocean to ocean, coast to coast, ocean to ocean, coast to coast. And so I gotta get drilling on that, man. So, sun's shining, you know, and le soleil, bien sûr, il pompe le soleil, so that's why we gotta get drilling with that, you know. So it's always on the go, it's always on the now, it's always on the doing, you know. So it's always when we LOV, you know. So it's always when we LOV, you know. So it's always what we got, you know. So it's always when the go nows and when the XYZ. So we gotta get it for that drills, you know. So sometimes we just gotta start doing. And being in parallel to doing is a component of life, you know. Le faire, puis en faisant bien sûr le component de la vie. Et bien sûr le component, bien sûr, que ça fasse. And that's how we gotta go drill it on that. So sometimes we just gotta go on the now and we just gotta say we start our fitness journey and gotta keep on starting that fitness, man. L'entraînement physique, c'est... gotta get a smell of those flowers and gotta give drilling for, bien sûr. Sentir les fleurs. So that's what we gotta get doing, man. You know? I gotta get LOV. So that's how we gotta get doing on that, you know. So just got a little pebble, so got a Mother Nature, man. Mother Nature got a little bit of pebble. And I gotta get it out, man, because I still got an hour and a half, eh? Je dois sortir parce que j'ai quand même 1h30 d'ici de marche, là. C'est quand même du beau temps. I still got a while, so best to take that pebble out. C'est mieux que je sors la petite roche, petite pièce qui était dans mes souliers, tu sais, pour en faire, bien sûr, ensemble, so we gotta get it on, man. So anyways, here we are hitting it on that west mountain. We're gonna go drill and meditate on the sunset, meditate on everything that's happening now. Truckers, butchers, bakers, nurses, doctors, and firefighters, LOV, you know, and gotta get it now, man. Sometimes you gotta mind fuse technology, satellites, and in the parallel life, I still have Asperger's. I'm an Asperger's, but there I'm a hybrid of Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, and everything I do is computers, satellites, supercomputers, science, technology, microchips, telecommunications, and all things to do with science. In this life, well, geopolitical analyst and theorist, independent artist, athlete, philosopher. Dans cette vie, un analyste et théoricien en géopolitique, un analyste et théoricien en géopolitique dans cette vie, un analyste et théoricien en géopolitique, artiste, athlète, philosophe indépendant avec Aspi aussi, mais dans une autre vie parallèle, j'ai aussi l'Asperger's, puis dans cette vie parallèle, je construis des satellites, super ordinateur, des micropuces, et tout ce qui a à faire avec la technologie, puis la science, puis je suis comme un hybride de Bill Gates, de Mark Zuckerberg, puis d'Elon Musk. Ici, dans cette vie, j'étais un artiste, athlète, philosophe, un peu de comédie, un 7e comédie, j'adore la danse, qui danse le plus, avec et analyste et théoricien en géopolitique. I just got another flash of a memory when I was fighting in Vietnam, and je viens d'avoir un flash d'incarnation quand j'ai été au Vietnam, you know, so past lives, and sometimes I was a priestess, a farmer, you know, construction workers, des fois dans une autre vie, j'étais fermier, puis travailleur en construction, travailleur en construction, puis prêtresse de la déesse, the goddess de la déesse, the goddess de la déesse, the goddess de la déesse, you know, c'est ça, XYZ, et bien sûr, et voilà, je sors ici, puis c'est ici, c'est 24/24, c'est ça la solution ici, puis if I know somebody who deserves to live in a house like this, well, it's my anonymous friend, je connais quelqu'un qui mérite d'habiter dans une maison comme ça, mais c'est mon ami anonyme, anonymous friend, mon ami anonyme, qui mérite d'habiter dans une maison comme ça, you know, so that's what it is, you know, so it's always on the go and always on the know and always on the LOV, you know, so gotta get it for that XYZ, you know, so they gotta get it for that DRT, you know, so they gotta get it for that XYZ, you know, that's what we gotta do, you know, so we gotta get it XYZ, and we gotta get it now, you know, so we gotta go through those right there, you know. We can work out there, on peut faire l'entraînement physique, bien sûr là-bas, puis we can work out, train, exercise, you know. Gotta smell some of these flowers, man, just see if they smell a little bit. Ça sent, yeah, doesn't smell that much, man, you know, that's how we're gonna go do it. See, these are kind of fluffy, you know. Sometimes you just gotta inquire about the nature, you know, the nature of things. And there's that house with your help I want to build and construct, you know, because it was 7 years been left like that. But ça fait 7 ans, bien sûr, que cette maison a été laissée tomber, bien sûr, ça fait 7 ans, you know. So il faut faire de la recharge. You gotta do that recharge, man, sometimes, you know. And here I love another route. Took it a few times, and you know, I love the smell of this. This smells good. Ça sent bon. The other things smell so good, man. I love to give my anonymous sister friend a house here, or on the river, ou sur la rivière, ou sur la rivière, you know. Ça serait bon, man. Lui donner, bien sûr, une maison, a house, man. On the summit, SUMMIT. Tomorrow's the summit. This is Summit Road. Summit, double summit. Summit Circle it's called. Summit Circle. We're just gonna take a little picture and just gonna drill it in and just gonna drill it out with that, you know, so. summit circle, man. That's what it is. Summit circle. Let's see, thank you. Summit Road, this is Summit Road, see? Summit Circle. Summit Road and Summit Circle is there. You gotta turn it on, you know, so. Yeah. So it changes, it goes from Summit Road to Summit Circle. The name of the street changes, or no, that's going south, north-south and east-west. Okay, I get it. So that's north-south and south, so that's the difference basically. I gotta say I love those flowers. Love those flowers and these gardens also. So nice. So nice. I love yellow flowers, you already know. Vous savez que j'adore les jaunes, j'adore les jaune, j'adore les jaunes. Gotta get it on the yellow flowers, man. And, they're jaune, you know, so gotta get it on that DRT, man. That perfusion theory, you know. Here we are, man, you know. When we're starting from scratch a little bit, you know. Commence faut commencer. Renaissance, we're gonna get it for that rebirth, you know, so that's why we gotta go drill it with it. Il faut faire bien sûr l'entraînement physique, puis c'est super important d'avoir la gratitude. And I think that's consulates and embassies here, and consulat puis l'ambassade. And video's gonna go to 3 hours because that's that max, you know. La vidéo bien sûr va aller à 3 heures parce que c'est le maximum, but here in the Summit Road you have a bird sanctuary. Ici vous avez bien sûr un complexe d'oiseaux. Des oiseaux ici. See here, you have a bird sanctuary. So all bird sanctuaries. Complexe d'oiseaux, you know, that's what we're gonna get it on the XYZ. C'est ça qu'on fait, bien sûr, and gotta get it on the XYZ, and I love these red and yellow, you know, so c'est ça qu'on fait, ça, jaune, puis du rouge, you know, that's what we're gonna go drill it with that, you know, so that's what we're gonna go put the glasses on and get that bird sanctuary, a little verification, but here it's full of birds. Thousands of species, you gotta go inside, there's ways to go, il y a des manières pour y aller, mais bien sûr, c'est un vrai d'oiseaux, bien sûr, qu'on a, bien sûr, d'oiseaux. There we go. See? Oh, I'm gonna take a little bit of pictures, man. Look at that. Look at those mountains, man. Look at those mountains. You can see a little bit of the mountains from here and the mountain ranges, you know. And XYZ.
Parce qu'initialement, j'ai vu qu'on parlait avec quelqu'un. Puis là, après, ils ont décidé que j'étais un danger et ils voulaient plus me laisser sortir. Voilà, ils m'ont transféré avec quelqu'un qui vont me
Yeah. Rock-and-roll. Do rock-and-roll. That's what it is, that's what we go. The butcher's on the road. Les bouchers. That's what it is. I played that defense, you know. Play that full quarterback defense, you know. So you got that defense for the Super Bowl, you know, when they playing up, you know. Gotta get that D, you know. So sometimes you gotta get that drills, you know. A good defense, my Papa Crowley said, gotta be mobile, you know. A good defense, like my Papa Crowley said, gotta be mobile. See, like rivers, sky, rivers, waters. Une bonne défense, mais faut que ça soit l'eau, sky, rivers, waters. L'eau, faut que ça soit l'eau, l'eau, hein. L'eau de la rivière et le ciel. So, wow, this is beautiful. Ça, c'est vraiment beau. This is really what I like. So that's what it is for the XYZ, for the XYZ. And that's what we're gonna go be, you know. So that's what we're gonna go be, you know. So c'est ça, XYZ, XYZ, c'est ça, puis c'est ça. So for that love, all the love and love, and this is the sale. So give her a number. Joseph, and we got XYZ. So I can see my anonymous sister living in there. Je pourrais voir ma soeur anonyme qu'elle habite dans ça. XYZ. C'est ça. XYZ, c'est ça. And we're gonna drill it. Drill down, make sure you cross the street safely. On sécurité. Turn your heads left or right because since the fact, see like this, safe, left, right, la gauche, à droite, left, right, de la gauche, puis de la droite, you know, so we're gonna get on that drill, you know, we gotta get on that drill, you know, so that's why we gotta get drilling with it, you know. That's why we gotta get drilling with that, so we're just gonna drill it over here and break it in and home we go, you know. If anybody wants to finance, I go up and down these stairs a few 100 times, 300 times with Rock&Roll for the butchers, bakers, firefighters, kicking people pour le temps for that firefighter NATO, and that's why we go drilling, you know. So we gotta always be mindful of that, and faut toujours qu'on pense à des choses comme ça. So c'est ça qui est ça, and that's what it is, man, you know. So